And we are live for our radio show. It is Gerald Glassford. It's the Lakers Fast Break radio show. Truly glad to have you here, a part of what we're going to do here for the next 3 hours. Going to bring you all this goodness that we can. Truly looking forward to a great show. I'm going to bring on the guys here in a second for our awesome radio performance here. Thank you so much again for joining us. It is Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate you being part of what we're doing right here. Once again, cannot thank you enough for doing so. Of course, it is Gerald Glassford, and this is a Lakers Fast Break. We're covering the world of sports on this great show. Thank you so much for joining us, for the thousands and thousands of people who have either subscribed to our show, followed our show, liked our show, watched our show. Cannot thank you enough for supporting us. So this is a new venture for us. Truly looking forward to bringing you guys into our world as far as the radio is concerned. Looking forward to bringing you more shows like this in the future. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we can do to get you guys involved right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And also everyone out there, if you are interested in contacting us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Truly looking forward to a great show this evening. Cannot thank you enough for being a part of it. Looking forward to a great conversation. Looking forward to getting Legend on here from I Got Next Sports Media, talking college football this week. A lot of good matchups, a lot of interesting storylines, a lot of interesting things to talk about. So he'll be on here a little bit. Alfred Ezman will also be here talking about Major League Baseball as it gets closer and closer into the postseason. And of course, also as well, we're going to have some NFL talk. Week 3 is in the books. And my good friend from Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Chris Lardieri, will be stopping on by in the 9 o'clock hour to go ahead and discuss the highs and lows of the NFL right now. And at the 10 o'clock hour, the back end, you'll be hearing opinions from our good friends right here at the Lakers Fast Break as well, including John Costa. He'll be talking about what he thinks about the Lakers and LeBron, some topics that have been on his mind. Joe Soro will be talking at the top of the 10 o'clock hour why he thinks Dave Roberts has got to go. The Dodgers, Dave Roberts, in his mind, has got to go, and he'll be telling you why. And on the back end of the show, as we close it all out, I'll go ahead and share my thoughts this past weekend on the WWE's WrestlePalooza and what's going on with the WWE right now. But looking forward to it. And here is one of my co-hosts. Indeed, it is the man behind Lakers Corner. It is, of course, John Costa. Great to have you back, my friend. Looking forward to a great 3-hour show.
Yes, sir, brother. I'm glad to be back. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, I'm not going to lie, with this whole microphone situation here. But, you know, what was any man without a little bit of adversity in life, right? Every successful man faced a little bit of adversity. So here I am. What's up, Kurt? What's going on? Tough. Daniel, Barry, what's going on? Good to see everybody.
The chat's lighting up. We got our mods, Xbox, Sports Baby, Search and Destroy. They're out there searching and destroying. Intel Wild also as well. Truly appreciate all of our mods taking care of our big and large chat room. Our audience is big, my friend. This is a special day. Our first foray into sports talk radio, John.
Come on, big day, Gerald. Big day, big day. And my microphone's breaking on this big day, Gerald. What's going on, man? This is crazy, Gerald.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you've got the new setup, the new house, but I've got a little bone to pick with you, my friend. I traveled to your neck of the woods. I traveled to your neck of the woods, made the effort to go near where you're at, had a day, had a time, all planned out. Went to Target for all those people out there.
Thank you for that.
Got you stuff for a housewarming, one of which I couldn't return because of the fact that they don't take alcohol back in California. Darn you. And you decided to bail out on me.
No, it was not bailout. Listen, Gerald, I live in the city of Oakley. You thought I was in Oakland. The difference between Oakley and Oakland is like 50 miles. No way, Gerald. I did not pull a Joe. I did not pull a Joe. And
yes, you did pull a Joe.
No.
Yes, you did pull a Joe.
You thought you were 8 miles within my house. You were like 50 miles within my house, Gerald.
Well, no. I was there. We had everything all arranged, and you said no. You made up. You brought the kids into it. You brought the children into it.
The kids are 99% of the time. They're the reason, though. I'll be honest with you.
No, you brought the kids into it. Yeah, that's like a real man. You should have manned up. Because you were the one talking all the trash to Joe about he didn't do this and he didn't do that and didn't meet up with you there. And Joe, he didn't meet up with me the first time here in Vegas. No, God forbid. He is literally 3-4 miles away.
Come on, that's
couldn't get his happy butt down here. No, he couldn't do it. Couldn't get his happy butt down here. So hopefully he'll be able to explain himself. But here he is now. It is the guy behind SimBlades, SimBlades with a Y.com. If you want your lawn looking much better than it did today, go ahead to SimBlades, SimBlades with a Y.com. It is Joe Soro. Before I get to you, Joe, John, again, you made no effort. You told me a day, you told me a time to meet you up with.
That's not true, Gerald. Gerald, hold on. Listen, see what Tuff said. Tuff said it in the chat. He's in the East Bay. The difference between Oakley and Oakland is like two vastly different locations.
I am traveling through your wannabe nightmare of a traffic system in Northern California, and you didn't bother to go.
Oh,
you didn't bother me.
No.
You did.
No, that's not true, Gerald. That's not true. At least I didn't do a Joe Soro, because Joe Soro did that to both you and me. Can you believe that? I was in his neck of the woods, didn't have a car. I was like, oh man, I'm a visitor, expecting Joe to come get me in his car. Show me around SoCal. Show me around SoCal a little bit, right? Hey man, these are the cool spots. Let's hit a bar real quick. Nope. None of that. But damn it, it's good to see you, Joe. You're on
south twice.
Say it again.
No.
Say it again, Joe.
I was up north when you were coming down south twice.
That is true. Yeah,
I wasn't in town to go pick you up.
That did happen. John didn't want to face this conflict. That's not true. I have just been handling life.
That's why he's been hiding for the past few months.
Yes. Truthfully, I bought a house. That's been keeping me very busy. I'll be honest with you. But hey, look.
Unlikely story.
Look at the setup. You guys like it? I finally have a home office now.
Yes.
No.
It looks good. It looks good.
Come on, Joe. Still, I can't get any love. That's crazy, man.
All right. But if that's the case, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be bringing you the world of sports here for the next 3 hours. Looking forward to it. Plus, again, special guests come around the corner right here, starting with Legend coming up at the 8:30 mark. But first, I did want to go ahead and mention our first sponsors. Big shout out to Lakerholics, Lakerholics.com for all your Lakers needs. Go ahead to Lakerholics.com where you talk to Laker Tom, Jamie Sweet, Michael, Heinrich, all those guys arguing with each other about the Lakers, plus also good talk as well at Lakerholics.com. So yes, definitely going to have a great show. But John, before we get on the air, before we really get into it, before we talk about what's going on with the world of sports, there's been nothing finished or finalized in regards to that one-on-one game that you and Joe had.
We need to meet up in person. I mean, it's like Joe said, every time I go south, he comes north. But we'll find a time. God's got a time written in his will for me and Joe to play. Thou shalt play one-on-one. The Joe Soro and John Costa.
The Grim Reaper will be there as well.
Okay. Yeah, all me. Right.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the
Don't
challenge.
jump, don't jump too high.
All right. Okay.
Don't jump too high.
Don't jump too high. We're gonna be playing ABA rules.
Oh man, it's good to be back. I'm ready. I'm ready for this right here.
Well, I'd love to go ahead and see that happen again. I'm ready to officiate whenever is needed with the matchup between John Costa.
I don't think Joe wants a ref in the get. Joe, do you want a ref when we play or no? I don't think that's probably not to Joe's.
John will be calling fouls.
I will be calling a foul. If I get hit, it is a foul. And I'm going to that charity strike. 2 dribbles.
All right. Tuff says he wants to buy a ticket for that. Absolutely. But you know what? It's just great to have you here. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate joining us. Got a great show lined up for everyone out there. Looking forward to the great conversations that we're going to have. Plus, your thoughts in the comments as well. We'll go ahead and touch on that during the course of the next 3 hours. But please go ahead and make sure you send in your love by liking, subscribing, following, doing whatever you need to do to go ahead and help us out. Please go ahead and do so right here at the Lakers Fast Break. But yeah, cannot thank you enough for all your support here. Joe, John, give a little taste, just a tiny little taste just before we hit the break right here at 15 minutes. What you guys are going to talk about here at the 10 o'clock hour. Joe, I think you have something in mind about Dave Roberts.
Well, you set the stage on that. That wasn't me initiating that. I thought I had done enough last night to explain my feelings on Dave Roberts. I guess I'm going to have to repeat it on the Lakers Fast Break, but I have not been a Dave Roberts fan for a while. It tempered down a little bit after the title last year, but I just don't like his managerial style. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his personality. I don't like the way he executes a baseball team. And that's putting it lightly. Usually there's expletives that are thrown in between there. And that's kind of where I stand on that.
But I'll tell you what, though, it's going to be a great show. John, you've got some thoughts as well coming up in the 10 o'clock hour that you want to go ahead and discuss as well.
Yes, I do. And Laker Fanatic, yeah, I appreciate you, brother. I definitely missed you guys as well in the off season, and it's good to be here. And Kurt, exactly. Now that I moved, I have not talked to that neighbor. I mean, that neighbor wasn't talking to me before. That neighbor went totally ghost. Was scared of the LFB Nation. But anyway, honestly, guys, later here in the show, I got 2 things that I want to kind of get off my chest. One is funny enough that we mentioned that old neighbor. Is one of the biggest statements that really grinds my gears is when people say, "Oh, the bubble ring doesn't count. Oh, the bubble ring doesn't count." And it's just a fraudulent, casual statement that, I mean, I'm just going to give some thoughts on it. But because I don't want to beat a dead horse, I am going to talk about another topic that probably a lot of people might want to hear. And that is, can the Lakers go ahead and win one more championship before LeBron retires, or vice versa? Can LeBron win one more championship before he retires? I'll give some of my thoughts on that. Definitely want to have both of those sections be very interactive. So Joe, I'm going to for sure, want your opinion, and Gerald's and the chats as well. But that's just a little sneak preview, man.
There you go, coming up indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be right back first with a update on the NBA. And could something happen as far as the Lakers moving up in the chain after a breaking news update right here at the Lakers Fast Break? We are back. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us right here. Beautiful day right here for sports And the big news right now, sports news update, breaking news happened earlier today with the announcement at the Houston Rockets that Fred VanVleet has torn his ACL and could be out the entire season. So, Joe, I get it off to you first. What do you think this will change as far as the dynamic in the Western Conference?
The dynamic?
Yes. Could it increase the odds for the Los Angeles Lakers? Could it bring the Houston Rockets down a peg? Does it require the Houston Rockets to maybe make a move that they weren't planning on doing?
They're likely going to have to make a move. I heard rumors of Russell Westbrook going back to Houston. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, but for them to compete for a championship, Fred VanVleet is a champion and a good leader and a good ball player. So they'll need to somehow find a adequate point guard using maybe some draft assets to make sure that they have enough to make a run. There's discussion that he might be available before the end of the season, but I don't know where those are coming from. ACL this late into the offseason, I'm going to probably play it safe that they're not going to play him again this year. The available players out there, I don't see anything of significance. I don't see Ben Simmons being an option. I wouldn't touch Russell Westbrook. I think that's a bad idea for a young team. Russell Westbrook creates bad habits, creates bad atmosphere, and his attitude isn't very good. And I don't know if necessarily he's going to want to play with, or Durant's going to want to play with Russell Westbrook anyway. So I doubt that that's going to happen. So there's going to need to be a point guard that they need to go after. Who I don't know who's available, who would be available that would be able to fill VanVleet's shoes. Houston may have to wait. Houston may have to wait and see kind of what develops, and then at that point determine with kind of the results of what they have now, or whatever results they do have as the season goes on, determine on whether it's something that they need to fill in as a primary. Right now, it's looking like, if I had to take a guess, I believe that Reed Shepherd will assume the starting position at point guard and let him flourish with the team. And Rocket fans are hoping that this expedites it in a blessing in disguise scenario.
John, you want to get in on this? Because, again, this is a major injury to one of the top choices for upending the current champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, again, they brought over Kevin Durant as a major buy-in now, a all-in move by the Houston Rockets by bringing in Kevin Durant, seeing their other major veteran in the starting lineup go down with a knee injury, John.
Man, I bet the Houston Rockets and especially Kevin Durant's like, damn it, I'm just trying to go win another one. Like, why does things keep getting in my way? Because, I mean, that changes. I wouldn't say everything, but it changes a lot. Like, I do think this team can still be successful, but no way they can reach their absolute ceiling. Losing veteran playoff experience point guard like that. I do agree with Joe to where I think it's going to be like one of those blessing in disguise type situations, because I think Reed Shepherd's really going to step into that role. But I think it's going to be a little bit more gradual, right? It won't be as immediate as maybe some people might think it'll be, because honestly, I think what they are going to do is, like, they're going to have a hybrid point guard type situation, because it'll be times when there is, the Reed Shepherd's bringing the ball down court. There'll be the times we'll even see Kevin Durant bringing the ball down court. Because to be real with you, they could even, because right now Kevin Durant is slotted at that 4 slot, but they could even slide Jabari in there and then slide Kevin Durant up, because Kevin Durant has no problem. We know he's all-time great. He has no problem having the rock in his hand. He has no problem playing off the ball, on the ball. So I I do think, long story short, it will be a blessing in disguise for Reed Shepherd and his growth. But I do think, short term, and if they were going for win now, which is what they're clearly going for, hurts their chances losing a veteran point guard like Freddie Van Vliet.
There you go, indeed. And with the Lakers just a few days away from training camp, Joe, it looks like this could be something that gives those teams like the Lakers that are thought of in that 3 to 6 area a chance maybe to go ahead and maybe have a bigger prospect on life as far as where they could go in the Western Conference, Joe.
I don't see any significant change based off of what happens in Houston. The Lakers are going to have to rely on themselves to be competitive or not. And they're in limbo a little bit still now, just in terms of what the team will be, with second-year head coach J.J. Redick, with 23-year veteran LeBron James, and then you have many players on the team right now on expiring contracts. We're going to assume that they're going to play very, very hard, maybe harder than they ever have, so that they can cash in at the end of the year. The one guarantee, barring major injury, is going to be Luka Doncic. That's the sole guarantee at this point, if I had to pick one, that guy will be a MVP candidate. He will likely be a first-team All-NBA player. He could win a scoring title. He is going to help the Lakers win a lot of games. And that's the focus, at least for me, on the guarantee of what that scenario is going to be. Everything else is a crapshoot. And the Lakers are also going to be a team that's going to be hovering around improvements before the deadline. And I think that's going to play a factor, in my view, should they be in a position where they could compete for a title.
John, any last thoughts on this before we head to the break and get, of course, our good friend Legend from I Got Next Sports Media to talk about college football?
Man, our guy Legend. Two things. One, yeah, Kurt, totally agree. I do think we'll see a lot more of Şengün with the ball as well. He's like really a Jokic light. So, we'll see him operating out the post a lot more. We'll definitely see a lot of that. But another thing, I just wanted to ask you guys real quick. Do you guys hear the sound quality? Because now I think the microphone's finally working.
Got that sexy radio voice going on there, my friend.
Does it? Oh, okay. All right. And like now you can hear me less?
Yes.
Oh, like here we go.
It's like you're running away from Joe or something.
Oh, I would not be doing that unless we were playing football. Because that's kind of the objective of the game. But anyway, cool. Got the mic working. I just want to make sure. Sorry, guys. I've been trying to do that since like before the show. But
stop buying your stuff from the 99-cent store. Start
Joe, that's crazy. I didn't buy this from a 99-cent store. This has been working like the whole time.
But it stopped working now.
Right? It did stop working now.
Could you say it's user error?
Would you say that you have the LeBron James of mics?
No, because that means I would have the greatest mic ever. I don't think this is the greatest. I think this is a good mic, but I don't think it's the greatest.
You mean the same mic that throws the ball away when it's up a couple points at the end of the game?
I mean the same mic that affects the most areas of the game than more than any player ever did. More than just scoring.
And how's that work at the end of the year every year?
I mean, he's in year 23.
More duds than studs, I'll tell you
that. But he's got more points and rebounds and assists and all of that. But yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm sure that's when you're on your deathbed, you'll be putting those little pins of LeBron James's all-time scoring banners on your clothes. Is that
I'll already have that with me.
Do you celebrate how many field goal attempts that he makes throughout his career as well?
No, I'm more like to celebrate the.
I'm gonna quote the great Bill Belichick, even though he's not doing too great right now. Stats are for losers.
Okay.
End quote.
Yeah. stats kind of make the game.
And that's an 8-time NFL Super Bowl champion saying that, by the way.
I like that. I like that.
Go indeed.
Well, what I will say is, why is everybody talking about getting banned? Nobody's getting banned, guys. Calm down. No, but what I will say to that, though, Joe, is, hey, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't.
Yeah, I know.
I guess I'll just leave it
23 years for 4. I'd rather have 15 years for 6.
Well, it's tough when you're in this is the most competitive league ever. I mean, like he wasn't.
This is not the most competitive league
all
ever.
right, guys. All right.
The 1980 decade was the most competitive.
We'll shut it down for
Jordan
now. All right.
had the best team. LeBron had to go.
No. Don't tell
I
me
got to
about
get to the break, guys. I got to get to the break. But once again, our sponsor, Lakerholics.com. Go ahead and make sure you check out there. But again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. And coming up on the other side is our good friend Legend with I Got Next Sports Media and college football. Right here on the Lakers Fast Break Radio. All right, and we're back. It is college football time. Week 5, I believe. As far as already in the books. And here today to discuss the highs and lows of college football is a good friend indeed of the show. It is, of course, the man you got to go ahead and check out on YouTube today at I Got Next Sports Media. It is Mr. Legend. Legend, what's up, my friend?
Ain't nothing much. How you guys doing?
Good, brother. It's good to see you, my brother. How the home classroom and shit and stuff like that?
Oh, it's been wonderful, man. Teaching my kids biology and anatomy.
There we go. I love it.
Not even a half hour. All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't have a dump button here, but it is of course the Lakers Fast Break.
It's okay. Did you mark the time?
No, it's. We'll make sure this is just a right. I'm convinced this is a dry run.
It must have been the 4th best player, Mike, of all time.
God damn, 4th is crazy. God damn. All right. Keep doing it.
All right.
Another bad pass out of the break.
Legend Ohio State is sitting high upon the top of the polls. Number 1, 3-0. Ohio State. Everything's going good right now. What are you seeing right now as far as the current trends in college football? Do you think it starts with the Aggies at Texas A&M?
I think so. Texas A&M has definitely been one of them teams that has surprised me this season, as well as one of the other teams I really think that caught off a lot of people. That I certainly know I didn't recognize them, and they're in my state. I didn't expect Georgia Tech to be this good this year. They one of the teams I really think that was a very, very, very good sleeper. Indiana University showing promise as well. Ohio State doing what I expected them to do. Georgia trying to creep into that discussion too. But I got to bring it up, Gerald. The bigger disappointment is Clemson. Clemson has been the bigger disappointment.
Absolutely. Dabo Swinney, Joe, I think you talked about it the other day in regards to Dabo Swinney. This could be the out he might be looking for if he wants to go ahead and has any desire to take over at Bama.
Yes, I believe that the tide is starting to go from east to the Alabama West, and Dabo Swinney is the noise that's going to come out of Alabama, especially if Alabama continues to underachieve under Mr. Washington. I'm sorry, DeBoer. Sorry, Coach DeBoer. As both programs underachieve, I am in full confidence that Dabo Swinney will eventually end up being the next Alabama Crimson Tide coach. And What that will do is that will set the stage for what I've compared it to is Roy Williams leaving Kansas to go back to North Carolina. Now, the cool thing is about Dabo Swinney is he's won a couple national titles at Clemson. He's essentially done his job. And the timing couldn't be better to not perform well, because I know Alabama fans are and were itching for Dabo to come back, knowing that at some point Nick Saban was going to retire. So if I'm a betting man, I would say expect within the next year or two for Dabo Swinney to leave Clemson and to become the new Alabama Crimson Tide coach. And that will restore Roll Tide a little bit more. Dabo will never be Nick Saban, but he's pretty dang close. Just like Roy Williams wasn't Dean Smith, still won championships. Matter of fact, I think he won the same amount of championships, actually. But I don't see Dabo winning 6 championships at Alabama, but I do see him continuing to keep that Alabama item 1 in college football up once he gets back there.
So with that, Legend, we're seeing as far as the trends in college football, they're already, again, it's always a beauty pageant. Who wins, by how much, what the spread is. Wanted to ask you your thoughts, though. We talked about Texas A&M sneaking now into the top 10 after some impressive wins. You talked about Georgia Tech at 4-0. USC is also with a high-octane offense, even though they have one of their top receivers out. They're still at 4-0. Is there any other teams that you say that you need to take note of right here in the top 25 that could be contending for a major college football playoff berth?
I definitely want to throw USC in there because I saw them personally play when they played against my university, Georgia Southern, like 2 weeks ago. And I really want to throw in Indiana. I think Indiana is really pushing for that spot to be in that playoff contentions. And it's a couple more sleepers, but I want to see how things go out in this upcoming week before I bring in a couple more names I'm thinking about mentioning.
Okay. All right. So, John, did you have any questions on college football? As a guy who lives in the Northern California stratosphere in regards to, you have Stanford, Cal, you have some teams up there, but you also get closer to the Pacific Northwest where Washington and Oregon might have to say something about how the national championship might run for them as well.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna get on here and sound smart like our boy Legend. I don't watch college football. I'm gonna be honest with you. What I will say is, go Bears.
So lie to us then, if you're.
I'm not doing that, Joe. I can't lie. First of all, it's a sin. Second of all, I just can't. Like, it just.
So is impure thoughts.
You're right, and I. Yeah, Joe.
So
Joe.
is bad language.
Joe, you're right. It is.
Would you like me to say a sermon for you tonight?
I honestly would be open to it because it would help me grow. Helps you grow. And see, that's another thing though. Look, I'm admitting I don't know nothing about college football. That's the first place to start where growth happens.
No, you should never ever admit that you don't watch football. That's a horrible life to live.
Honestly, I be honest, Joe. I just don't care about football.
You might as well just say you play croquet in the backyard by yourself.
I just play strictly basketball, and I get money.
That's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
No,
you're not good enough. How about that?
I'm good enough, and I'm smart enough, and darn it, people like me.
All right,
people like me, and I'm good enough, and I'm smart enough, and guess what? I don't watch college.
That totally went over.
All right, guys. Okay. So with that, Legend, let me get you back in for one final.
I don't think he was alive when that guy was saying.
I probably wasn't. Let's keep in mind, I'm about to be 27 here.
Hey, who are these guys? Who are these guys on here crying about being silenced?
No, nothing. But anyways, I want to ask this. Let me ask you this, Legend, before you head on out, my friend, and before you give everyone the shout out on where you can be found at on an every weekly basis. Your thoughts, though, is there anyone that looks like they're going to upend the Ohio State train right now. I still think Oregon, you got to keep an eye out on, but is there anyone else that you might think? It seems like it's centering around the Big Ten conference as far as who might end up being the major player in college football.
I want to still say keep an eye out for Penn State. Penn State's still doing pretty good too. I'm about want to say I really want to throw Georgia in there as well. Georgia's been looking pretty good, even though last week that Tennessee game was looking a little iffy in that first quarter. But I want to say right now, I think Ohio look like the defendable to repeat right now. I think Ohio just look like they have no weaknesses right now. But there's one other team I want to mention that was a disappointment. I forgot about them. Notre Dame was another disappointment. They have really fell apart.
They did get the win this past weekend, so they get to stay in the top 25. They can still right the ship. With Notre Dame, they play enough quality opponents. And because the Irish, they always seem to get the favoritism going as far as in the poll selection and whatnot. So we will see what happens. But before we head out, my friend, we need to know from you, where can people find out what's going on with, of course, I Got Next Sports Media. What are you covering and how can you make sure to get the next show that you're doing?
Well, on my channel, I Got Next Sports Media, we will be talking about the good news. The Golden State Warriors finally going to let the world know we're going to lock down Al Horford, Milton. We're bringing Seth Curry on in as well. And we're bringing on another familiar face as well, Gary Payton. So we're going to do a little discussion tomorrow about that, as well as talk about how the West, to me, may have got a little more interesting now with the unfortunate injury that happened with the Houston Rockets. I think things are going to be a little more interesting now that ended up happening too, and pretty much go from there and talk about some college football that's coming up for this upcoming week.
There you go, indeed. Please go ahead and make sure you check in with Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Looking forward to all the great things that he's doing there, plus every time he stops by here with the Lakers Fast Break. But what I want to ask you, one last quick question. Right now, who is your early favorite for the national champion?
I'm going to stick with Ohio for right now. I still think they are the favorites, but if things continue to go, maybe the Bulldogs continue to show me something, maybe we're finna bring a title back to the state of Georgia.
There, indeed. Absolutely. JY, before you go, says Ohio State has Matt Patricia calling the defense with majority players going to the league. Is it going to be hard to beat them?
I believe so. Ohio's defense has been really good. Ohio is looking like a championship team still. Look like they have not dropped a beat since winning last year. A hard knockout right now.
University.
There you go. There you go, indeed. I like John interjecting right there at the end. Sounds good. Sounds good indeed.
That is, when I was a kid, I did used to play the college football video game, and I would grab Ohio State and be like, the Ohio State University. So shout out D'Angelo Russell.
That's from the Key and Peele skit. Come on.
What the Ohio State University?
The way you just said it.
I mean, yeah, but they say that though.
Don't act like you didn't. You think I was going to miss that? I'm not going to miss something like that. Come on.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard them say
don't be crazy
Ohio
here.
State University.
805, yes, they can win the title. Oregon does have.
No,
they
can't. No, they can't. Oregon will not win the title.
Why not?
Because it's the same reason why I call them Division II teams in college basketball. No matter whatever run they make to the Final Four, even if they even get to the final, like a Butler or a San Diego State, as soon as they run into a Power 5 team in the title game, they always seem to lose. So until I see it change, I'm going to say Oregon may make it to the national championship game. But if Ohio State's sitting there, if Georgia's sitting there, if LSU is sitting there, I'm picking the SEC or Ohio State.
There you go. Absolutely, indeed. But go ahead and make sure you enjoy all the great stuff that Legend is doing at I Got Next Sports Media. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say on his channel and at any time he stops by right here at, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Legend, great to have you here. These guys right here, don't mind them. Don't mind them. They're just doing their shtick. They're just going for each other. John still thinks LeBron is the best player on the planet of all time and all that. The GOAT. Hey,
Where'd you put the camera on the chandelier? What's with the angle over there?
Me?
Yeah.
Joe, what the stop? I mean, what the poop, Joe?
Yeah,
Stop hating.
yeah.
yeah.
I drew it out a little bit.
Joe, do you
Almost
not
gotta
like
do it
this?
again.
Listen,
All right.
Joe.
Up in here.
Joe, do you not like
All
this?
right.
Look at the setup. Look at this
All
setup.
right. All right.
said-
I don't like
Well,
anything.
so,
What?
thanks to our sponsor,
You better
Pop
like it.
Cosmos, for sponsoring this segment. And of course, Legend, truly appreciate you joining us. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. These guys just always fighting. Go ahead and make sure you go ahead and check out what he's doing today at I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here as always. Looking forward to your next time around right here on the Lakers Fast Break. And we'll be back with your comments and questions that we've been looking at for the past few minutes. We'll go ahead and bring back right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Uh. 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 Uh.
All right, and we're back. Cough, cough. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. This is our shot looking at trying to go ahead and break in the radio sports business. We'll go ahead and see what we can do there. But for now, it is your questions and comments time. So thought we'd go ahead and catch up on some comments that you guys have. Looking forward to seeing the debate, because guess what? It's coming up right here for you right now. Hernan says, first for me, and Joe or me as well. There is a recent report of Robert Horry saying that the Lakers should trade AR to surround Luka Bettertown. Yeah, he has thought about Robert Horry being gone as far as he is Laker Tom. He has become a Laker Tom of Lakerholics.com because he wants Austin Reeves gone in the worst way. Guys, Joe, I'll start with you first, John. Your thoughts on Austin Reeves, and should it be gone from the Lakers before training camp?
No, he absolutely should not be gone unless we get a solidified star. There's no reason that Austin Reeves should be gone, in my opinion.
Remember, he does not have a continuation of his contract. He will be a free agent. He can opt out and become a free agent at the end of the season.
I remember that, but the only reason why I say that is because I feel like Austin Reeves is at a point to where like the league knows how good he is, but I don't think that his trade value would actually hold up as that. So anybody that we would deal Austin Reeves for, I don't know, and I don't think that we would get someone or some pieces in return that were like, yeah, that was for sure worth it, to be honest with you. So I think it's better rocking out and seeing, what next jump does he take this season, because he's continuing to take jump season after season after season. So I say rock out and see how he does this season. And also, we did see him in the past, take a somewhat team-friendly deal to help the team. So I'm not saying he's going to do it again, because that will be really crazy for him, like financially, and messing up one of the biggest bags of his life. But there's a chance. It happens once. It could happen again. But to answer the question, no, I do not think we should get rid of Austin Reeves before training camp. Also, because I believe in continuity, and that's a big thing. And I don't know how much continuity you're going to build with, training camps right around the corner.
What about you, Joe? Again, Robert Horry has said in recent days on his podcast that he thinks the Lakers should trade Austin Reeves to surround Luka with better talent. Hernan wanted your opinion on it, my friend, as well. So share us your thoughts. What's going on with that?
I'd like to know for who.
Yeah, he didn't elaborate on that. So he just...
And Robert needs, as a professional...
Big shot, Bob.
when you say something should be done, there should be a solution to that. So when someone complains about something, doesn't matter what it is, socially, economically, sports wise, what's the solution? You don't just go, hey, you should fix this. Fix what? Like, tell me what to fix. Who's going to trade for AR and give you a better player? We've asked this question a few times.
I don't see it, Joe.
There needs to be someone that requests a trade. There needs to be a player that will be accommodated by that team. And then there's a possibility. We don't have anybody right now that's in the position to make that call. It could happen before the deadline. And that's something that the Lakers are going to need to keep their antennas up on. If you can acquire someone that is better skilled than Austin Reeves, then you make that trade, because that's going to help you compete better. But I think there's too much attention on this Austin Reeves thing. It's not as it's more obnoxious than the previous expiring year he had, when everyone thought that the Lakers were supposed to pay him $25 million a year or they'd be mad, and he ended up getting $14 million. Austin Reeves is being hyped, and I don't know why. I'm very fond of him. I'm very fond of his ascent in the NBA. He's outplayed his draft free agent status, obviously, and he has overachieved greatly, and good for him. But this constant nonsense about Austin Reeves and his importance to the Lakers' future is overhyped. He cannot be the second highest paid player going into next season. If he is, the Lakers are not serious about competing for a championship. You do not pay Dak Prescott Patrick Mahomes money. You do not pay Austin Reeves a number 2 or 1A star on a team when he's really a 4. Just remember that.
John,
I was just gonna say to Joe, like, to kind of have a little back and forth and like a little banter here. So Joe, when you say, if you can trade Austin Reeves for someone better, then yeah, do it, because that brings the Lakers closer to title chances. And I agree. But to my original statement that I said when I look around the league, and again, maybe I'm missing right now, any fair trade that would actually happen. I mean, for sure, I'd take like Austin Reeves for like freaking, Kevin Durant or whatever, right? But I'm saying something realistic, like a realistic trade around the league or a realistic dealing for Austin Reeves. I don't see a deal where I'm like, all right, cool, we're getting rid of Austin Reeves, and now I legitimately think we're a better team, or I legitimately think we're better. Like, do you see that option around the league? Because I actually don't. Joe, or
not
Joe?
Right now. There would need to be a player that the Lakers could retain in terms of salary matching, and it would need to be a player that begs to leave, or a team that wants to trade that player.
Yeah, but that's not a thing right now. Like,
no. So let's say let's throw this out here. If New Orleans, let's say Joe Dumars calls Rob Pelinka and says, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, not New Orleans, Toronto." Let's say if Toronto, and I'm saying this not because the jury's out of his spot, which opens up some common sense up there. You all know I'm not a big Masai fan. I never will be. Let's say Toronto is 20-40 going into the last few days of the deadline.
Okay.
What if they say, "Hey, man, we'll trade you Brandon Ingram for and let's say Brandon Ingram is playing well. He's not earth-shatteringly going to take your team into another level. We know that.
Yeah.
But if Toronto says, we'll give you Brandon Ingram, and the reason why they'll say that is because he still has about $40 million left on his contract for the next 2 years, each year, right? Which it's kind of but it's also not going to kill the Lakers either, because he's still young and he could be a really good piece for a beginning of a championship contender. So if they call Rob and they say, Rob, we want Austin Reeves, will you take Brandon Ingram?
Man, that's a tough one.
Brandon Ingram is a better
Agreed.
basketball player than Austin Reeves
will ever be. I agree.
And mind you, I'm trying to think of realistic things. Of course, I'd love for Boston to say, we'll give you Jaylen Brown, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
So, and I don't think Miami is going to do anything with Tyler Hero. Hero would be another guy that I would say I'd trade for him as well. So unless it's something like that, it's not realistic that a trade would make sense. Because if you're going to match talent, then you're basically actually regressing, because now you're going to bring somebody that's new that's going to give you the same effect, except now you don't have the continuity and you don't have the for all we know the chemistry that they have right now with Austin Reeves. It's a delicate area. That's why the thinking of this is overblown in my view. There's too much talk about a guy that's not elite. He's not even an all-star.
But that's why I think that there's so much talk around it. And I'm not even necessarily saying I agree with the talk. I think that because
it's creating a market this is preemptive. Yeah, this is preemptive representative jibber jabber. This has nothing to do with anything other than trying to set the stage for Austin Reeves to be wanted, so that by the end of the year, some team out there comes in and pays him Jeremy Grant money. And we all know what happened with Jeremy Grant.
God damn. Shout out Jeremy Grant, man. One. Sorry, Gerald. One in
languishing.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
That's a sin, too, by the way, taking the Lord's name in vain.
You're right. It is a sin. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm not being funny. I'm actually
you should go to confession. You should go to confession tomorrow.
But you know what though? You can have a relationship with Jesus and you don't even need to go to confession. You can confess right here.
Just
letting you know.
Just make sure you don't use the GD next time if you're going to confess.
You're right. You're right. But I didn't even necessarily use God's actual name. I said like GA.
No, I heard G.
Nah.
Yeah.
Back to you.
I like how you swerved that around like a politician.
Back to you.
I didn't I didn't say God. I said G.
Right? Come on now. I said G.
I mean, come on. You're gonna make Gerald rewind the tape. I mean, you see the screen behind him, don't you?
To go for the instant replay for
to
see if the call gets overturned. But Joe, like we were discussing, yes. I agree with all that. And honestly, like to my original take, like I don't see anyone that we give up. I don't see any way we give up Austin Reeves and we're like, wow, I think we're, legitimately better with the realistic trade option right now. And even that Brandon Ingram one, I would be very hesitant to pull the trigger. Even though Brandon Ingram is a far better player than Austin Reeves, I believe in fit over, just having just a better player sometimes, at least in trade situations like this. But anyway, Gerald, sorry to hijack here.
Oh, that's hijack away. That's okay. That's what the show is all about. Again, great conversation from you guys. Make sure you can always go ahead.
You're more of a low jack.
But go ahead. Make sure you put your comments in there. We'll try to get to the best we can throughout the show. Just truly appreciate it. In fact, I've got our old nemesis.
Who's Gerald Jordan, sports baby?
Oh, there you go.
Right. Gerald, do you have a brother?
No, he's talking about Jordan. The Jordan LeBron debate we will go ahead and discuss.
Oh my goodness.
Later on.
That is a
show, indeed.
Beat horse.
Oh, well, okay.
Why is he hated in Portland? It's their fault he didn't draft him.
Later on. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I will say this again. It's great to have you here. Our half hour here has been sponsored by the Pop Culture Cosmos, covering the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead and check out the Pop Culture Cosmos today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube as well. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and follow us here as well on the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro. John Costa is here, and me, Gerald Glassford. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. It's winding down. The season is coming down to the final few games. What will the Dodgers do? How do the Yankees look? What's going on with the AL and the NL? We will bring on our baseball expert, Alfred Ezman, coming up after the break. Looking forward to that conversation. Again, thanks so much for joining us. This is Lakers Fast Break. Cannot thank you enough for stopping by, but tuning in to us each and every time out right here at Lakers Fast Break Radio. If you have any questions for us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com, or just put it in the comments below. Make sure you follow us as well on all social media at Lakers Fast Break. So for Joe Soro, John Costa, me, Gerald Glassford, thanks again for watching this thing. We're coming up after the break with Alfred Ezman right here at the Lakers Fast Break Radio. Was using it in a sentence, though. All right, we're back for hour 2 of the Lakers Fast Break Radio Show. It's Gerald Glassford along with Joe Soro from SimBlades and of course my good friend Mr. John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Cannot thank you enough for doing everything that you can to support us right here on the show. Looking for a good time indeed. Right now, it is Major League Baseball on tap right here. And who better to talk about Major League Baseball than a good man indeed? He is part of the coverage that happens each and every time out right there at the World Baseball Network. Plus, he covers the local scene for the Loudon County News-Herald and Southeastern 16 as well. It is my good friend, Mr. Alfred Ezman. Alfred, great to have you back, especially what we're doing right here on the Lakers Fast Break Radio.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. The clock has struck midnight over here on the East Coast, which means we are a week, 7 days away from the wild card weekend occurring in Major League Baseball. You guys over on the West Coast, soon to be 7 days away. So we're getting closer and closer, and there's some pretty tight races, especially in those wild card spots. There's a lot up for grabs still to be determined.
Lakers Fast Break for this half hour, sponsored from my good friends, Nicole and Doug at Retro City Games here in Las Vegas. 4 great locations, including a brand new location at Caesars Forum Shops right there. They made the announcement this past weekend. They will have a new store at Caesars Forum Shops right there. So go ahead and support Retro City Games, the leader in collectibles and video gaming right here in Las Vegas. I'll tell you what, it's getting down to the final few games like you said, Alfred. I want to ask your thoughts on this before I get it to Joe and John as far as their comments or questions on that. What are your thoughts as far as where we stand in Major League Baseball? Who is looking more and more like a team that's going to be having some success in the postseason?
Well, the team that stole the show to me in the month of September has been the Cleveland Guardians. I mean, this has been an incredible month for them, 16-5 in the month of September, and they are knocking right on the door of not just the wild card, but for the AL Central. They're a game back from the Detroit Tigers right there competing with them. It's a team that was like way further back than this, and this month of September has just propelled them forward in such a huge way. I'm utterly impressed with this team, although maybe we should have saw it coming based on what Stephen Voigt was able to do with them last postseason going to the ALCS. But nonetheless, this team looks primed and ready. It's a team I would not want to play in any round right now heading into the postseason. I'm ecstatic with what they've been doing. And looking at their remaining road for the rest of the year, they do play Detroit at home in Cleveland. That is going to be an incredible series. They have been telling everyone on social media I've seen, pack that ballpark, get it ready for this series. This is pretty much for the division at this point. I know there's a series after, but absolutely massive story that I've loved watching. And on top of that, Cleveland does have to play Texas after that. Texas, of course, not in the postseason, but a very good pitching team. Actually, might lead the league last time I checked in team ERA. So a tough challenge for the Guardians as well. But they have completely stolen the show in the month of September with the regular season winding down.
It's interesting that you say that because, as you remember, most of the season, Detroit has dominated the AL and their own division. And to see them fading fast, I know that we on this show and on Joe's show have talked about the Dodgers' up and down season, to say the least. But I know that the Tigers are looking right now, they're backing into the playoffs at just the wrong time.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? In the same division too, and they play each other. It's not a good recipe. Well, it is a good recipe for Stephen Voigt's ball club, but not for the Tigers, who, looked really, like you said, really good throughout this season. That's the storyline to me. That's what I've been intently watching. I know you guys love the Dodgers and the National League, but as far as the American League goes, that's really what I've been looking at, and that's really just been the icing on the cake for me as the season's been winding down.
John, before I get it over to Joe, who I know has some questions for Alfred on that, what are your thoughts as far as what's going on in Major League Baseball for Alfred?
Man, this is another one. Alfred, I don't know if you were watching the show, but we had Legend on here earlier, and Legend was out here talking to us about college football. Now, I'll be honest. See, Joe already knows what's coming. I don't watch any other sport except basketball. I am locked in basketball and NBA basketball. Like, I'll watch college basketball every once in a while or whatnot. So I'll tell you what, I played some baseball when I was in like high school and like middle school. I was pretty good first baseman. I'll be honest, I was a really good first baseman. But I'll tell you where my baseball journey stopped, and then I'll go ahead and let Joe ask his question, because this has nothing to do with what Alfred was just educating us with. I was playing on a baseball team, playing in the, holding down first base. This pitcher, I don't know where Gerald went. Gerald probably didn't hear the rest of the story. He's like, "Oh, this story is."
Oh my God!
On. All right, here we go. We're back. All right,
we're back.
We're back. Okay, we're back. All right. The world must have not once heard this story. Essentially, I'm sitting at first base. Pitcher pitches the ball. Dude hits the ball. It comes back and it smacks the pitcher in the face. The ball came off the bat, smacked this dude in the face. I remember sitting there saying, wow, I sitting here at first base am really close to this pitcher. This could have been me. And you know what? That was the last day that I ever played baseball. I would play for fun and whatnot, but
it's a terrible story.
You know what, Joe? You're a terrible story. But anyway, just wanted to say that. But Alfred, it's good to see you here, brother.
Thank you, John. Glad to be back. Wear your face guards, guys, on your batting helmets.
Come on,
next time, pay attention when the ball's coming to your face.
God, Joe, he was like a freshman in high school, Joe, and the ball just went flying.
That's when the testosterone is at its highest and your alertness is at its highest. You should pay attention.
That kid lost a couple of teeth.
Joe, I know you got something for Alfred here when it comes to Major League Baseball. What is it, my friend?
How do you explain a -9 run to differential for the Cleveland Guardians and still be winning here?
Oh, I just think it's really just, I think a lot of it's mental. A lot of this game is mental. And I hate to be just not talk numbers or anything. I like numbers, but like I said, I think, Stephen Voigt is one of the better managers in the sport. And I think just like last year we saw with their postseason run, he just knew what to tell his guys this time of year. And they're here they are right now, sitting on the brink of, again, not only getting into the postseason, winning their division when the Tigers had it all wrapped up. I think that's a huge deal. And, I think a lot of the time it comes down to that. These good managers telling their guys, the right things at the right time. Another guy I love in this sport who I think is a fabulous manager is Pat Murphy over in Milwaukee. I think he's done a great job with that team as well. And I think that's just what Voigt's done. And I think it's a testament to really him and getting his team moving in the right direction. And, It's not always just these numbers in baseball. In a sport where it's just numbers all over the place, sometimes it could just be a mental thing, making the right play at the right time and winning the right game at the right time.
Okay, now let's get down to the meat of this.
Watch out.
Voit and Murphy. Voit is 40 years old. Voit is the future of managing in the majors. A lot of managers throughout their careers end up managing 3-4 teams if they're good. That's just kind of how it plays out. Why is Voit a good manager? I want you to explain in detail so that we can compare it with something that we've been discussing, at least I have, for the last few years and especially within the last few weeks. What is it? And what is it that Voit is doing that is different than what's the norm, which is some geek upstairs sending a sheet to some lackey in the dugout who pays attention to that sheet 90% of the time?
Oh, philosophical.
I see what you're doing there. I see.
I like that. I like the way you worded it, but I think a lot of it comes down to, if we go look back, I'll take their last 2 wins they had, because they lost to Minnesota in their last game, but they shut them out in the 2 games prior to that. I think a lot of the times, looking at it like the first game, or it might have been the second, the 6-0 win they had there, letting pitchers go as much as they can go until you have to take them out situationally. It plays into this. I think there's a lot of managers, and coming from a guy who used to write about the Rays, Kevin Cash is a very analytical manager. He's a guy who looks at a sheet and makes pitching decisions a lot of the time off that. I think with Voit, it's you kind of let a guy on the mound keep going, you know what I mean, until, push comes to shove and you have to take him out based on whether it's runners in scoring position, bases loaded, things like that. And I think when it comes to the postseason, a lot of it's, adrenaline and momentum and whatnot. And I get the Guardians are acting like, this is the postseason at this point with the run they're on. You kind of just let guys, ride like that. I don't know if that's kind of what you wanted, Joe. And that's just one example. There's many you could say, as far as maybe even batting goes or something like that with pinch hitting. But as far as the pitching aspect goes, because I know, Pat Murphy has made the Brewers a pitching giant the past few years. I can say kind of similar things about Voit as far as, letting guys go until not necessarily their arm gives out or anything like that, just until push comes to shove later in their outing, 6, 7, or 8 innings in, and they have to come out. So that's what I would have to say about that, at least on the pitching side of things.
Couple minutes left before we go ahead and make sure you let everyone know where you're at. Couple minutes left. JY put in there as far as thoughts on the Red Sox and the Yankees. The old rivalry now battling for a possible wild card spot, my friend. The Yankees are 3 games in the hole. The Red Sox are 3 games in the hole behind the Yankees.
Yeah, and the Red Sox are in that danger of the Guardians, right? They're only a game up on them, safely in the wild card, at least for now, but they're only a game up on them ahead of the Guardians as far as the 3 spots goes. And it's kind of, they kind of fell to the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays' nice season that they've been having, and Toronto, found their way into the postseason, and I don't think they've clinched yet, but they're right there in it and have a spot in it. And I'll speak on the Red Sox behalf. They have their remaining schedule is at Toronto, speaking of which, and Detroit after Detroit plays Cleveland. So if Detroit finds themselves on the losing end of a series with Cleveland, then they're going to go into a Red Sox series really hungry and wanting to take that. So Boston has a pretty tough road to go as far as closing out this season and putting themselves in a good position in the wild card to begin with. But they're in kind of a danger spot, so to speak. As far as the Yankees go, 4 games up into the wild card spot. They're in a decent position. Their schedule not as bad. White Sox at home and then the Orioles at home. I guess the Orioles might give them trouble just because of interdivision, whatever. But Baltimore just has not been a good team this year and really disappointing. So I really feel good about the Yankees just based off their schedule. As much as as many blunders as they may have had this year, their spot's pretty safe. I'm watching out for the Red Sox in particular. It keeps going back to the Tigers and Guardians. That Tigers series at the end of the year if the Tigers get on the losing end of a Guardians series and the Guardians take over the Central, the Tigers are really going to have a chip on their shoulder. At least they should, heading into that series against Boston to end the season.
Just about 45 seconds left. I want to make sure I get in Kurt, one of our great mods here as well. Kurt Affairs asking, he would love to get your thoughts on the Blue Jays. Are they the real deal or just regular season performers?
You know, all year, we've seen this with the Blue Jays a bunch. They've had, all these great players, and there's just, injuries or something else that goes wrong in seasons prior. That hasn't happened yet. And the Blue Jays right now are looking very nice, sitting with 90 wins, clinched and in. I think they're about as real as you can get. They're at the top of the division. You have the Mariners headlined by Cal Raleigh alongside them, leading the AL West. The Central is a toss-up right now between the Tigers and Guardians. If they can find a way to continue this play, I think they stack up well with at least those division winners, barring a wild card team making some surprise noise.
Alfred, you've been amazing as always. Last thing before you go, where can people find your great work at, my friend, Mr. Alfred Ezman on Twitter?
World Baseball Network. It is worldbaseball.com. In the search bar, we will have stuff all postseason with the MLB. I do the college baseball side of things. If you like baseball at all, go check it out.
There you go, indeed. Alfred Ezman, start your journey with Alfred Ezman on Twitter at Alfred Ezman. You might even see him on an upcoming team preview of the Orlando Magic right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Alfred, great having you on. On the other end, we're going to be talking some NFL football coming up right here on the Lakers Fast Break Radio. All right, we're back with Lakers Fast Break Radio. It was NFL Week 3 that has just finished off with the Monday night game. Joe, your Steelers are riding high off a victory. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look so dead after all, my friend.
Did you watch the game?
Oh, he's got his points. I mean,
They barely won, and they had 5 sacks and 5 turnovers.
yes, I did, but he did pass or become the all-time touchdown.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is not the problem in Pittsburgh. It's a lot of stuff in Pittsburgh that's a problem, and I'm just
starting with you. It's the coach.
I'm just bracing myself for another 9-8 season that's going to accumulate into either not making the playoffs or getting absolutely shellacked in the first playoff game, and that's just what it's looking like it's going to be. I was impressed with certain performances. Cam Hayward played an amazing game. If he doesn't keep knocking the ball out of Stevenson's hand or arm, the Patriots score touchdowns on those near misses. You also had T.J. Watt have a couple of sacks. He was 0 for the last 6 games, including the playoffs. And Arthur Smith can't run an offense because the second Aaron Rodgers takes 2 steps back, he's got somebody in his face. So, Mike Tomlin, fix your lines. Fix your coaching. Do something that makes sense. It's starting to get really, really old right now, and only the Rooneys are content with it for some weird reason.
John, are you catching Eddie football at all, my friend?
Has that guy been there, Mike Tomlin, literally ever since? Because I remember when I used to watch football, to be honest with you, is when Troy Polamalu was on the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger in WWE. They used to call him Ben Burger. And Mike Tomlin was the coach. Is he still the coach, Joe?
Yeah.
Answer my question, Joe.
Unfortunately, yes.
Damn, that guy's been the coach for a heck of long. I mean, Gerald, I'll be honest. I'll watch a football game like if someone has it on at their house or something like that, and like we're just, I came over for something like that. But I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day. I would watch a like Hornets versus the Wizards on a Thursday than watching the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Like just being real.
Your love for the NBA knows no bounds.
Knows no bound, honestly. Just my love for basketball in general, like knows no bound. The game of basketball, legitimately playing and watching, brings me peace. Like honestly, and not that watching other sports doesn't. Like I mean, watching other sports is cool, but it just doesn't hit the same.
You know what brings me peace?
I honestly have no idea what's gonna come out of your mouth.
Me.
That's what's up.
You're a piece, all right.
Hey, shout out Drip Show. Hey, shout out Drip Show. Gerald, throw his comments on the screen. He said that's true.
I know, but we got some love for Drip Show coming up here at the back half of the hour, my friend.
Look at this, man.
Don't worry. We got Drip Show coming up here. We got Drip Shows coming up. But we wanted to go ahead and mention our sponsor for this half hour, Retro City Games. 4 great locations. The 4th one is coming around at Caesar's Palace. Plus, also they've got at, of course, their main store in Henderson and 2 other great locations on other end of the strip. So go ahead and check it out. Retro City Games right here in Vegas. But Joe, the Rams, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory when they looked like they had it all set up. The Philadelphia Eagles took it away, Joe.
Yeah, it was like watching a ship sink, and you were hoping that the people on the boat were going to get out in time before it sunk, and unfortunately it didn't happen. They had that game in their pockets, and it just, I can only imagine. I don't. The first thought I had after was it Davis who blocked the kick for Philly?
So, yes.
And is it Sean Davis? I think it's Sean Davis.
No.
Blocked the kick, had lunch, brunch, and dinner, picked up the ball, ran to the end zone, and might have even taken a vacation before the Rams decided to realize that the game was over. I don't wish this ever in my life, but I do wish I could have teleported myself into Lincoln Financial at that moment, because I could hear the crowd from California. That's how loud they were, and that would have been an amazing experience.
Wanted to ask you this also as well. Of course, the Raiders here in Las Vegas, another unimpressive outing, this time in Washington, D.C., with a backup quarterback, Joe. Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders put up 41 points on the Raiders. There's still a lot of work to be done there in Vegas.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It means right now, they're 1-2, Joe. There's still a lot of work to be done.
There's
Vegas.
no work to be done in for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders are a eunuch.
Ever since I've known football, the Raiders
have been absolutely irrelevant for 23 years. They are turning
Xbox right now.
They are turning into the Arizona / St. Louis /
Portland
Chicago / Cardinals from, what was it, I think of the late 40s until Super Bowl 43. I don't know what Mark Davis does over there, but it doesn't seem like he does much. They have no identity. Even the Raiders don't have an identity anymore. Their fan base is dead, at least the real fan base. Pete Carroll, I said maybe might be able to bring him a 6 or 7 win season just from his aura. But Geno Smith has regressed so badly for whatever reason. They have no shot. I thought the familiarity there would catapult them to winning certain games. but they're not. It's a franchise that's dead. They're like the Knicks in a lot of ways. That's a good comparison too. They're the Knicks in terms of their name and their prestige is bigger than their actual play, and there's a long track record of that.
Before
Honestly,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, to add to whatever for the Raiders. Literally, ever since I've known football, the Raiders have sucked. Like literally since I've known about football. When I got here to the Bay Area from Brazil, going to an Oakland Raiders game was one of the first things that I did with my mom and my brother. And I remember just being like, damn, these people are rowdy. Like, these people are really, really rowdy. And I'll be honest with you, I've kind of followed them ever since then. And I have not seen not even a slither of success. And I could only imagine if that was if I felt like the way I feel about the Lakers, about the Raiders, oh man, my life would be miserable. Miserable. Just wanted to add that.
Before we hit the half-hour break, my friend, and my friend, Mr. Chris Lardieri from Inside Sports Fantasy Football, want to ask your thoughts. Ruben is in the chat right now. He's talking about Caleb Williams. Is Caleb Williams that good? Or is the Dallas Cowboys defense that bad?
He's good physically. Ben Johnson's a phenomenal offensive coach. There's going to need to be some time to see if he can put it all together. Physically, he's why he is and where he is. But as far as his mental, my issue is I think he's softly mental, and you can't be soft.
He's softly mental.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, he's not. He's shown signs that he's gonna be soft when it really matters. He'll be easily broken.
That Caleb guy?
Yeah.
I think sign number one. Actually, you know what? Let me keep my thoughts to myself. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about the whole nail situation he has going on there. That's
when the narrative of your talent, when the narrative of your talent is your fashion on your hands, that tends to
that's a problem.
That becomes a problem.
That becomes a problem. Because you're not a hand model, you're a football player.
Well, maybe he can be a hand model in the future when he can't play in the NFL anymore.
Before we hit the half-hour break, guys, though, the Los Angeles Chargers, team that we've been talking about in recent days, regards to San Diego, where they were, and LA, where they are now. They're 3-0, Joe, but the 3 wins come against division opponents. They're 3-0 in their own division already. How big of a boost is that to them when they already know they are 3 up in the division, Joe?
Jim Harbaugh is a very good coach. He's always won no matter what. And there may be a couple of elite players away from really being a problem. But this is how it should start. I think Herbert finally getting some good juju from winning some close games. He's been losing these close games in the past, and beating Kansas City to start the season, even though it was in Brazil, kind of tends to set the stage really, really well. And as far as Denver, the jury's still out on Bo Nix, although I do like Sean Payton as a coach. I think he will continue to improve that team. I just don't know where Nix will be as he progresses. Herbert, this is kind of his time. This is his time, and there's no better coach to have to kind of chaperone you into that than Jim Harbaugh. And when you get a taste of winning like this, you start to build usually good habits, especially when you have a good leader behind it, and they're creating that. Losing Khalil was a kind of a gut punch a little bit,
Yes.
And I don't know how the hell that guy's going to come back from what I saw with his arm. I don't know. I don't know how he can come back. I'd have to wait and see that. It's a 180-degree difference from Jim Harbaugh and Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley was a former coach for the I was going to say San Diego, for the LA Chargers, and that the Jim Harbaugh regime. The only negative with Jim Harbaugh is at some point he will burn you out. He's the modern day Larry Brown. I don't know if I'll see him go 10 years with the Chargers unless Herbert turns into a MVP type player. Then at that point, there won't be any choice. A quarterback can keep a ornery coach or an irritating coach employed because if he falls in line, everyone else has to fall in line, and you all know the NFL is a quarterback league. So if Herbert plays like an MVP for the next decade, Jim Harbaugh may have a chance to stay somewhere for longer than 5 or 6 years. And in that case, has a very good chance at possibly leading the team into a deep playoff run, possibly a Super Bowl, especially with Kansas City now sort of cracking a little bit from years and years here of dominating. And right. I also think Andy Reid is coming up to the end of his amazing Hall of Fame career.
So with that, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be right back after the break to talk more football because my good friend Chris Lardieri from Inside Sports Fantasy Football is here. Big shout out once again to our sponsor, Retro City Games. Coming up after the break, it is Chris Lardieri right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast. And we're back with the Lakers Fast Break. It is truly great to have you here. Good to have everyone here. It is the Lakers Fast Break, sponsored by our good friend, The Drip Show. Right there. Go ahead and get his quality products, including something I got from Drip Show right here. You can have these detailed type of products in your home, whether it's great shirts, great hats, great canvas art, anything that he can do. Go ahead and find out what he can do for you in the sports world, collectibles, and more. Right there for you at Drip Show Shop. Right there on Instagram and Twitter as well. But my good friend is here. It is, of course, the guy that sits alongside of me at Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Chris Lardieri. Chris, great to have you on the show, my friend.
Gerald, great to be here. Thank you for having me to talk some football.
Absolutely, indeed. Week 3 in the NFL is finally done with a thrilling game against right there for you with the Lions eking out a 38-30 victory over the Ravens. Your thoughts so far this weekend? Actually, we haven't had a chance to catch up. Injuries, big name injuries are hitting hard all over the NFL these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, at first we just thought it was a round of quarterbacks in week 2, like Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. And then news comes out today that Nick Bosa tore his ACL, done for the season. The 49ers already without Brock Purdy, already depleted at wide receiver. And the injury bug just keeps going through the Bay Area, unfortunately.
Absolutely. So that's what's scary right now. If you are in right now a fantasy football team, what are you doing to work around it before we get back into the NFL?
Well, if you had listened to our show for the last, 6 years, Gerald, we always tell you need a backup quarterback in fantasy football. It's something NFL teams can't seem to figure out either. This is why Carson Wentz still gets jobs, I guess. But if you don't, and he's out there on waivers, you better start looking for a quarterback like Sam Darnold. Not saying he's going to blow the lights out every week like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson, but he'll get you points. And if you're a team that's got, say, a Jaden Daniels or a Brock Purdy as a starter, There are far worse quarterbacks you could get off waivers. I know he's going to be the hot pickup this week, but again, always make sure you've got yourself a good backup quarterback. And then two, you look at, unfortunately, James Conner done for the year in Arizona. We talked about this. You got to build running back depth too, and sometimes you just got to take a flyer on a guy, even if he's only gotten a few reps, because unfortunately, these running backs get banged up. You look at my beloved New York Giants, who are atrocious again this year. One of the few bright spots last night in the loss to the Chiefs was Cam Scatterboo. Dom and I snagged him in one of our leagues, and I think before you know it, he's going to be getting a lot of the reps at running back because Tyron Tracy doesn't look too impressive, and frankly, Scatterboo does.
Joe, you wanted to interject with some thoughts on the season so far. You mentioned with James Conner, it's an injury that could be likely. That's it for his career.
Yeah, James is a good man, and injuries have not been kind to him in his career. He did have a couple good years where he didn't really deal with it in Arizona, but it almost like it imploded all at once here this last game. And the injuries have been catastrophic this year. It's too bad too, because I have thoroughly enjoyed the NFL game for the first time in a long time. The new kickoff rules reinvigorated a lot of good feelings on the NFL. I saw hitting being allowed for the first time without obsessive flag throwing. And even though there were some crucial moments that the Steelers were involved with where the cornerback could have been called for defensive pass interference, I'm always in the boat of you can't call every single hand touch a penalty when you're a cornerback. It's just not very realistic. You might as well just say you can't touch him and then call it a day. So the NFL product has been as good as it's been in a long time. The only damper on that is there's a lot of key names and key players just getting destroyed before the season even gets halfway through, heck, even the quarter in. So that's the only negative there. Gameplay, who's going to continue to be elite or very, very good? It looks like after tonight that Jared Goff is likely going to continue to be a top-notch quarterback. I thought going into Baltimore and doing what they did there, that last pass on 4th and 2, that perfect rainbow into Ahmad St. Brown's arms, that was, when you call cojones, that's steel, brass, and copper cojones by the head coach. And, of course, Goff's perfect pass. Because if that thing goes left a little bit, it goes right a little bit, or goes a little too far forward, it's now you're putting the Baltimore Ravens in a position to win the game. However, then again, it's still Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson doesn't tend to play well in these type of games, even at home. And then, of course, Philly coming back and beating the Rams the way they did. And, of course, I feel bad for the San Francisco 49ers because they have a lot of grit. They have really, really good coaching, and they're probably going to be debilitated by the end of the year and not have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl because of those injuries. That's my assessment on that. I didn't want to talk about the Giants because I feel bad for my Giant friends. I have a couple, EJ being one. My friend Joe, who's a diehard.
Chris Lardieri being another.
Chris, yes. I don't know what. I don't know. You're in that Bermuda Triangle with a quarterback that I feel, from his talent, should sit an entire year. But are the Giants going to allow him to sit for an entire year? My answer to that is no. I think he's going to. They're going to be forced to put him in at some point. Russell Wilson is the ultimate bipolar quarterback, especially the last 5 seasons. He will make an amazing pass on a seam route. He'll make an amazing pass on a fade route, and then decide to play 3 flies up for no reason at the end of the game and allow an interception. So
let me ask you. Let me get Chris back in here. I wanted to ask his thoughts real quick.
Don't
Joe.
ever interrupt me when I'm
I'll
talking.
interrupt you if I want to. Gosh darn it!
Here we
Buffalo
go.
Bills are expected to be 3-0 at this point in time, Chris. But the Indianapolis Colts, that was not necessarily on your bingo card as
Fluke.
No, and not with Daniel Jones, much maligned Giants quarterback at the helm. Good,
That hurts
good-
much worse,
yeah.
doesn't it?
It does. I mean, good for him. I have nothing against the guy. I thought, from day one, he was running uphill and had no offensive line and got beaten up throughout the years. Had one good year, got an extension, and went back to crap. To Joe's point, the reason Jackson Dart will start is because Brian Daboll and Joe Shane's necks are on the line. And if they say, well, we got this quarterback, we got to develop him, it's a lost year, they think they're going to buy themselves some time. But John Mara should have had the fortitude to fire both of them after this year, and he didn't. So, going back to that Bermuda Triangle reference, the Giants can't find a GM, a coach, or a quarterback, and the cycle continues. But yeah, I mean, good for Daniel Jones. It's a weak division. It's a good story. We'll see what happens. But let's face it, he's got a line. He's got some weapons around him for once.
Who is the most disappointing team in the NFL at this point through week 3, in your opinion?
I'd say the Houston Texans, followed shortly by the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they're 1-2. They should have blown the doors off the Giants last night. I digress, but the Texans are in a winnable division. CJ Stroud looks like he's taking another step backwards this year, losing some bad games. Lost a heartbreaker last Monday night to the Buccaneers at the end of the game, and then this week, they had a chance to come back against Jacksonville and just blunder after blunder. And I'm not sure what's going on down there. It's a team I thought could at least gone deep into the playoffs this year, so they better turn it around fast.
Is it over for the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's not over. They'll make the playoffs, but their dynasty's over. They're not the same team. They don't have the same weapons. Their best receiver is ironically a retread from the Patriots. So props to Andy Reid and Brent Veach for picking them up off the scrap heap. But yeah, they're not the same team. They're older. I personally thought going into this year, the AFC West would be tougher, and it looks like that's going to be the case. I still think they're a playoff team, but my guess is they won't even make it out of the divisional round, and definitely not to the AFC Championship game. They've just got too many holes.
Couple minutes left. John, have you got anything for my good friend, Mr. Chris Lardieri?
Come on now. You guys know what it is, man. Chris, I appreciate you being here, but I'm a basketball guy, man. I'm a basketball guy, so don't really have much to.
Why do you
to
keep
add.
asking him?
Because he's a good host. Because he's a good host, Joe.
I'm talking to Gerald.
Yeah, I know.
I want to make sure he knows.
Why don't you just ask John if he skeets? What do you feel about skeeting, John?
Skeeting on you,
huh?
Oh,
you shoot
skeet in the
skeet?
next segment. Let's just say he will have plenty to say in the next segment.
I'll have plenty to say in the next.
Hey, John, what was the last? How about bobsledding? Tell us about what you think about the Olympic bobsled team. How about that? Ask him that question, Gerald.
And you would be surprised at my response when I say I've never even been to the snow.
I'm not surprised of the fact that you haven't done anything in your life.
Come on.
Except walk outside your door.
I've had a child.
Hey, guys, I've never been anywhere. Literally.
Well,
sorry,
sorry I didn't grow up with money, Joe.
I didn't grow up with money.
Well,
I did walk outside my door, though.
The older I get, the more places I do go, though.
I don't need to hear excuses on mine.
Last thing before we go and head to the break, Chris, it is so great to have you here, my good friend on Inside Sports Fantasy Football, which we'll go ahead and record later this week. But I always do a segment at the end of the show, woof woof woof, to the doghouse, covering his pick for underdog in week 4. Your thoughts, my friend, for entertainment purposes only, your underdog of the week.
I've seen the lines already. There's some real head scratchers out there. The fact that the Arizona Cardinals, after that atrocious performance at home, I think the first line I saw was they're giving 1.5 on Thursday night to the Seahawks. I just think the Seahawks are a better team. I think Sam Darnold right now is a better quarterback than the way Kyler Murray's been playing. I think the Seahawks win that outright. Not a huge fan of a 1.5 point spread, but I just don't see how the Cardinals win this game. I was just really appalled by their performance in a unbelievably winnable game against the 49ers yesterday.
There you go, indeed. It is, of course, my good friend, Mr. Chris Lardieri. Chris, on a weekly basis, like you said, we've been doing this for several years now. What do we do on a weekly basis at Inside Sports Fantasy Football?
We're not going to give you some projections and PPR recommendations and then work in a commercial for one of the big gambling companies. We're just going to talk fantasy football. And Gerald, to your credit, as great a host as you are, you've got opinions too. We talk about who we like. We don't just base it on metrics or advanced analytics.
And they stink.
Yeah, that too. And we watch the games, and you like to hoard quarterbacks. That's your strategy, and it's going to pay off again this year until Mahomes hits another wall. But those are the things we talk about. We mix in some gambling talk, like you mentioned, the doghouse. But we open it up to the listeners and viewers too. They come with their questions. They'll tell us what kind of league they're in. They're looking to start they've got 2 receivers and a flex. Who should they play? That's what I like about our show. We don't do shtick. We're not at the mercy of the big networks or the big gambling houses.
There you go, indeed. It is my good friend, Mr. Chris Lardieri from Inside Sports Fantasy Football, which you can catch every week on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and when we record it on YouTube as well. Chris, so great to have you here. Looking forward to our next conversation on Inside Sports Fantasy Football, but great to have you here on the Lakers Fast Break radio show. Coming up next, after the break, it's open mic time for our comments, and a lot of comments on LeBron versus Jordan coming up after the break. This is the Lakers Fast Break Radio. And we're back with Lakers Fast Break Radio. Once again, thanks to all of our guests. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, also as well Alfred Ezman from the World Baseball Network, and my good friend, Mr. Chris Lardieri from Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Please catch those guys and follow them wherever they're at in the world of sports.
Gerald,
yes.
Are you famous? You know all these people, Gerald. I'm starting to think you're famous.
Podcasting since 2009. You got to know some people sometime. But I am also as well, want to let you know on Lakers Fast Break, the YouTube channel, I am in the middle of our NBA team previews. I've been dropping one each and every day. I've got almost all of them recorded. And the latest ones right now are right there in the D's for Dallas. And coming up as well soon will be Detroit Pistons. So go ahead and catch each and every NBA team preview. They're good half-hour discussions right there on the Lakers Fast Break YouTube members. And if you're a member for just $2.99 a month, you get it 24 hours ahead of time, just to let you know, indeed. But also a good shout out again to our sponsor for this half hour, Drip Show. Does amazing work. Joe has a panel right there in back that Drip Show did for him. He's also got hats that Joe's been wearing, also shirts that Joe's been wearing. Great job as always. Again, there you go right there.
Look at this. Shout out Drip Show. This one right here. And he sent me a hat. And he sent me this little poster right behind me. And shout out Drip Show because this was a housewarming gift. Wow. That's legit.
This is legit indeed. So if you want stuff like this, remember Christmas is around the corner.
Shout out Drip Show, man.
Or talk to the missus.
I might leave this pillow here, honestly.
Talk to the missus or the family. Say you want something from Drip Show Shop. Go ahead right today. Instagram or Twitter. That's how to get, he can give you the quote right there, how much it costs, etc., etc. Drip Show Shop at Drip Show Shop on Instagram.
What do you guys like? What do you guys think of the pillow right here? Is this a good look? It's a good look, I think.
All right. Yeah. Hey, it takes up that space, that empty space on
that
your
empty,
desk,
that empty white. Yeah, empty white space is weird. But I got my little remote. It's a standard desk.
Okay. Well, Derek put it in a comment a little bit earlier. I wanted to go ahead and repost it. I think it was Derek. Appreciate him. The experiment, and I think he was referring to you, Joe. Explain to me what Jordan did in his early years. Watch out. Here we go. In the NBA.
There we go.
And he was in his prime. Also, by the way, beaten in the first round, until he got until he got Scotty. Jordan was nothing. So, you know how I feel, Joe. I'm on the record, Team Jordan, as far as him being the GOAT of all time. You and John Costa, you guys go at it, and there's actually a whole video that you've done on YouTube that I have on the Lakers Fast Break channel, which is now very famous for the debate that you guys had.
You mean how I broke John Costa?
I broke Joe's spirit.
He had to curse. He had to curse at everybody because he got destroyed.
No, Joe.
Okay.
I was telling you the truth.
Let me remind some of you of this narrative
saying,
of Scottie Pippen being the almighty that allowed Jordan to win championships. Supposedly.
Well, I just wanted to finish that with Sports Baby saying
I don't care
Jordan
what you have to finish.
LeBron. Yeah, there he is.
Okay. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna finish.
Vari's thinking that he's a Team LeBron guy.
Vari knows more about basketball. Well, no, I can't say that to him. I can't.
Vari's he's a great guy. Him and Mark right there. Those are the reason I even like leaving Australians.
So
those two insulting each other is great.
So this narrative that Pippen is the almighty God for Jordan to win championships. Explain to me Game 7 in the 1990 Eastern Conference Finals.
They're just talking about the fact that Michael Jordan never got to the finals before Scotty got there. Because he was rebuild. That team was building to the point where he was. For sure. But just like LeBron took like Jordan Clarkson and George Hill to the finals with him. So
taking guys to the finals doesn't mean jack squat.
True.
It's about winning.
True, you're right. And Michael Jordan wasn't even getting there. So both LeBron and Michael Jordan
wasn't getting there. Yeah, because Magic and Bird were in their primes.
No, for sure. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, then you can also look at LeBron had to face against players
based off talent, right? The 1980s were the most competitive era of NBA basketball that you'll ever see in your life. There was 26 teams in the 80s. Every team was stacked. Even the Denver Nuggets were stacked. The Dallas Mavericks were stacked, but you don't hear about those guys because they were getting their butts whooped by Magic, by Bird, by Isaiah.
I hear you, but Joe, if you want to be fair about it, you can't just be like, "Oh,
there is no fair." This is not a fair discussion.
Okay, you're right, but you can't just say, "Look, all these great players, Bird and Magic." Okay, well, look at all these great players: LeBron, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry. Literally, all those guys were in the same team together, and LeBron had to go up against them. But I don't
consider Durant in the same class as a Larry Bird or a Magic Johnson, as great as he is. And as far as Steph Curry is concerned, Steph Curry was a part of a team that drafted very well, and he was more team oriented than any star that I can remember of this era, and that's a benefit to Steph Curry. And I've said on record that LeBron James had a little bit of his career ruined by Durant going to Golden State.
For sure, absolutely.
But that's not the whole story of LeBron. LeBron has come up short too many times in big moments for him to be considered the greatest.
But you can't do that because Michael Jordan also came up short. He came up so short that he wasn't even going to the finals.
Those teams, the early Bulls teams were not equipped to compete. They were building those teams.
Okay,
there's a difference.
LeBron had teams that were also not equipped, and he made them equipped. I'm gonna be honest with you. LeBron James had no business having.
Did you forget about the shot against Cleveland in Game 5 by himself in 1989?
No, I'm talking about. Did you forget about the players that LeBron
Jordan
James
didn't do anything between 1984 and 1990?
That's not true. What I'm saying.
Go look at the tape. The guy played in game. The guy dropped 69 in the Boston Garden against arguably the greatest team in the 80s.
You
The
cannot
86
say
Celtics.
Michael Jordan had a team that wasn't equipped, but then
Has nothing
LeBron
to do
didn't-
with it.
LeBron
He has
didn't
no. You are
LeBron
building the
didn't either.
team. He was building. The
LeBron
team was
didn't
being
either.
built
And
when
LeBron didn't
Jordan hit his peak. When Jordan was a championship contender, he never relinquished it.
because the competition in the league was not.
No, there is no
nearly as
competition
far
in the 80s
as-
compared
there
to
was-
any other
there
era.
was- because there was no good
The
team.
era of the
There
80s was the
always
most
the same
competitive
team winning every
basketball
single
in
year.
the history of the NBA.
It's different now. It's different.
No,
now,
it's
Joe.
not different. LeBron is never going to have the mental fortitude or the freakish ability of Michael Jordan's will.
No,
And it, and the results say so too.
But again, Joe, look, you got to see what everybody is even. They're even telling you in the
I
chat.
don't care
Joe.
what anybody says.
But-
I only
but-
care about what this says.
That's the problem, Joe.
Okay,
Joe,
because this pays attention to what? The results.
Rob
likewise,
Van Dam.
exactly. But if you're paying attention to the
results.
RVD. Jeff Hardy was better than him. But listen, what I'm trying to tell you is this, though.
Not
Joe.
as a showman.
If you're in it for the results, you cannot just overlook all the results that Michael Jordan failed at even getting.
What did Michael Jordan fail at?
No, Joe. Oh my. All the times where he didn't even get to the finals, all the times you cannot just like act like those weren't there. Like he failed a whole bunch of times at not getting to the finals, and in the same way you hold that against LeBron.
He was building. The team was being built.
Exactly, but what about all the years that LeBron?
And you know who he was competing with, right? I just told you.
Oh my god! And I just told you.
I had to go through Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas and these guys.
Oh my goodness!
Who did LeBron go through? Mike Bibby against Atlanta?
The team that.
What are you talking about here?
The team that beat Michael Jordan's record. That's what LeBron had to go through.
Chauncey Billups in Detroit? I mean, is that what you're comparing to Larry Bird and Isaiah's of the 80s?
The team that beat Michael Jordan's record. That's what LeBron had to go through. But
LeBron is a great player.
An amazing
LeBron
player.
has arguably the greatest statistical career. Him and Kareem are head to head. You can pick either one. But in a billion years, no one can touch Michael Jordan.
As a basketball
the
player,
last couple minutes left, guys.
in
Derek's
totality.
put in here. Well, hold on. Derek put in here. Come on, Joe. 3-1 in the finals. Only team to do so in history. The Golden State Warriors were 73-9 for championships, and maybe 5 all-time league scorers in NBA history will be top 10 rebounds, etc., etc., etc. Come on, Joe. That fabulous win over the Golden State Warriors, Joe. That's what he's hanging
Okay,
on.
1 year. Now what?
Okay, but look at all the other years.
What are the years?
Look at all the other years. All the other years when he was the underdog because his team was not the best team. The best team was going. He was going up against them, and guess what?
2011 up 2-1. JJ Barea owns him.
I'm talking about
Michael Jordan would have never been owned by JJ Barea.
I'm talking
2014, he gets menstrual cramps. They get beat by the San Antonio Spurs 4-1.
But quick question before we go.
Never got dominated in any game. Even those games where he wasn't competitive because his team wasn't set right yet.
Before we hit the end of the hour, one last question. RD23 working on his.
What I tell you about interrupting me when I'm talking?
Shut up, Joe. Gerald, can you ask this question for the debate? How far is the 73-9 Warriors going in the 80s and 90s? Now, Joe would be the proper man to ask that question.
73-9 Warriors. People forget this. And if you don't have a good memory or you don't pay attention, you're going to forget this. That same 73-9 team was down 3-1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if Russell Westbrook had half a brain and could just relax a little bit, the 73-9 Warriors wouldn't even have made the finals. So pay attention to that a little bit. By the way, a lot of the reasons why that team lost in the finals, something that doesn't get talked about a lot, Andrew Bogut got hurt. Because before Andrew Bogut got hurt, no one could get to the basket, which is why the Warriors went up 3-1 in that series. The moment he got hurt, it was a layup line the rest of the way. And then, of course, LeBron did his business and put himself in the all-time greatest discussion. And it is amazing to come back from a 3-1 deficit, especially when you don't have home court. However, there is never, ever in my viewing life where I saw Michael Jordan come up short from his game. If he's not winning a championship, it's because either he was building to one or he was coming back from a hiatus.
But
When
LeBron,
Michael Jordan was at his peak, when Michael Jordan was at his peak, there is no one that dominated more.
You're holding every LeBron James failure against him, but you're not holding any of Michael Jordan's. It's crazy. But
because LeBron's failures were weak-minded failures. When you're up 2-1 against the Dallas Mavericks, you're supposed to shut that down. You're not supposed to get dominated by JJ Barea. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. There's no excuse for that.
All right,
you're supposed to have cramps.
You're not
in the
supposed
finals.
To be you're not supposed to be losing in the second round.
You are
not
never
even getting there.
Ever going to convince anyone with any logic that LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is
a lot of people with
and
a
he
lot
will
of
be the
logic
king
believe
forever.
that. A lot of people with
All
a lot
right.
of logic believe that.
What did I say about interrupting me?
What?
Because we're
Gerald.
going to the break, my friend. It's the top of the
There's
hour.
1 minute left.
There's less than 1 minute left. I got to thank our sponsor, Drip Show Shop, before we go out.
Shout out
It's
Drip
a new
Show.
hour where you will be talking after the break about Dave Roberts. So there you go. Now, finish up. Got a few seconds left. Go ahead.
From studs to duds. Come back after the break.
What?
All right, whatever. We're going to go ahead and continue the debate, but please put your comments and questions out there right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So for Joe Soro, John Costa, me, Gerald Glassford, thanks again for listening. We'll be back right after the break. We'll be back with more. Joe will tell you why he's not a big fan of Dave Roberts and he should be fired. John has some thoughts on the Lakers, and I have my thoughts on WWE's WrestlePalooza coming up on the last hour of our show, the Lakers Fast Break radio show. It's our final hour of the Lakers Fast Break radio show. It's Gerald Glassford along with Joe Soro and John Costa. Truly appreciate you joining us. This half hour is being brought to you by our good friends at Simblades. Simblades.com. Make sure if you live in the Southern California area to find out exactly how you can get a better lawn and a better area, and a better surrounding area, just your front lawn, your lawn, everything that you need as far as artificial turf can be had at Simblades. Simblades with Y.com. That's the guy who owns Simblades with Y.com. The enforcer, as was said in our chat here, truly appreciate RD23. I'm called the dictator, I guess, and John is the prodigy. So we have the dictator, the enforcer, and the prodigy right there with RD23.
That is hilarious. But
Yes.
hey, really quick, just shout out to shout out to RD23 for sure. Real one. JY asked if I have more LeBrons or J's in my closet. Yes, I do. I mainly have Kobe's, and then I have the LeBron 20s. Those are honestly one of my favorite LeBrons. And then I have a couple of Jordans, but mainly more Kobe's though.
Derek, good question. He will answer that. John will at 9:30.
I will. I absolutely will, Derek. I will answer that.
But Joe, it's now your time. This is going to be, as far as 3 of the segments of the 4 are going to be for us to shout out things on what we need to talk about and what needs to get off our chest and our minds here in the sports world. So you get first dibs, my friend. Dave Roberts, you went off on Dave Roberts for 2 hours on the Joe Soro Oxperiment on YouTube last night. Doesn't seem like there's going to be any swaying as far as what you think the ultimate outcome should be for Dave Roberts.
We were talking with Ezman about good managers, Voigt out in Cleveland, specifically, especially him because he's 40 years old, so he's going to be around for a while. My argument about the Dave Roberts time is it doesn't make sense to have an astronomically different process in how you accumulate players. And I said that in the most elegant way because that's what it is. It's essentially 5 teams every year that are spending a lot of money to make sure that they're competing. The Phillies, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees. And my confusion is, why are you running the team the same way the Cleveland Guardians are running their team or the Tampa Bay Rays are running their team? Why are you running it the same way? Why are you so in tune with the same playbook that everyone else is running when you have more assets, more resources? The job, in my view, of the manager with this much talent is not about the X's and O's. It shouldn't be about the X's and O's. It should be the ability to convince a bunch of really, really rich players. Everyone is rich in baseball, but these guys are 15 generations rich. And a third of your lineup is going to go into the Hall of Fame at the moment they retire. The moment they retire, 5 years later, they'll be in immediately. How do you convince? Because sometimes it's more difficult to coach stars than it is the little engines that could. Because these guys already have their guaranteed money. They already have their prestige. Most of these guys generally wallow in their own success. Freddie Freeman isn't known to be that way. Mookie Betts isn't, and obviously Shohei Ohtani aren't. But they're still human beings. And I think you'd be naive to say that there may not be tendencies throughout the year where they may think that. I just don't think it's very realistic to think that they don't every once in a while. They're still human. The job, in my view, of the Dodgers manager is to do more than just fill out a card that's being sent from upstairs and change pitchers. There needs to be a communication that's next level because of the talent you have and the expectations of that talent. The Dodgers have been around since 1884. They've never that's 116, 25. You're talking about 141 years in existence. They've never had a dynasty. And they're the second most popular baseball team on the planet behind the Yankees. They've never had a dynasty. So the opportunity that Shohei Ohtani has given this team and the opportunity that ownership has also given the managers and the executives is that they are set up to win and win a lot. You cannot take that for granted. You cannot let this slide. You can't play soft. You can't be in caution mode all the time. And that is what Dave Roberts is. And if you want Dave Roberts to be just a pigeon in this, then I have very little respect for him. Because I know if I'm the manager, if I'm picked to be a manager, yes, I understand there's data that I am going to follow because it helps the team win. But what is the point of the manager if he can't make a call when it matters? And does that manager have a feel for the game? Is it consistent? The answer is no. He's more often a dud than a stud. And for a team this talented and a team that has so many opportunities to win, for it not to is wasted talent. It's a wasted season. It's a wasted opportunity to be great. Dave Roberts, in my view, is not the right manager for this team. This team should have a couple of. They should have at least a couple more championships in this amazing run that they've had since the Guggenheims have taken over in 2012.
But that's what John was asking.
Who's the
is?
right manager?
So the right manager, that's a good question. The right manager would need to be someone. What was
No,
that?
because you said that's a good question. I was like, I know. I know it's a good question.
Yeah. Are you going to remember any of this since you're a basketball guy?
Yeah, because honestly, shout out to you really quick, Joe. Because when those Guggenheimans or whatever people, when they
mean like the Hobbits,
whatever, those people, the people who got a lot of money when they went and got some of the Lakers, right? The only reason I knew who they were is because of you. Because I was like, dude, Joe talks about these people all the time. And then I started looking up and I started connecting and I was like, oh, these guys got a lot of money because they got something here with the Dodgers as well, too. But anyway, continue on with your story, Joe. Who do you think should be there?
I asked the question, does Major League Baseball has it allowed the next phase of a manager's ability to manage? I've asked that question. Does Major League Baseball allow a manager to manage? For me, I'd like to think somebody would have announced that by now. So let's say if I was hired to be the Dodgers manager and I had my own way of making decisions, especially in crucial moments, and there's a defiance there, I'm going to make it very clear that I wasn't given the ability to manage in the moment. This is a game where you have to manage in the moment. If you're always working off the sheet, then you don't really have a feel for the game. You don't have a pulse of the game. And you become robotic and your players become robotic. And this is a different team. There isn't a necessity for that as much because of the fact that you have more talent that you've acquired. You have more resources at your disposal. You are not trying to squeeze everything you can out of talent in Tampa, in Miami, in places like that where payroll is nowhere near what these guys are. So there's a different mentality there. The mentality, in my view, for a team this stacked is you guys are supposed to win. And if you continue to play soft when there are times when you shouldn't, then you create bad habits. And I had mentioned that earlier in the year where they were playing soft, they were playing cautious, they would take their foot off the gas. Those things create bad habits. And they had one of the worst records since the 4th of July weekend. And the response is always usually the same thing. It's always, what do you know? You're not managing in the majors. You're not a baseball guy. You never played in the majors. You know, that response is warranted in certain discussions, but not in this case because the results are telling me what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with me. I want to understand something here. When your bullpen is struggling because you've taxed them since the beginning of the year, because you just couldn't help yourself, not letting another inning go over and over and over again, especially when someone's pitching well and not taxed as much, but you're cautious in May. You're constantly cautious, right? So I said, okay, they had the best record going into that 4th of July weekend before Houston came in. I said, all right, well, if this is what it's going to be, I guess I'll deal with it. But when it doesn't start to work, now what is your excuse? Are you going to tell me you know more about baseball than me because I don't play in the majors? The results is what I'm basing my assessment on. You're telling me that you've taxed the bullpen and you have arguably the best starting five in the league that for about 14 games had an ERA of like 1.6, 1.7. Yet you're taking guys out that are at 80 pitches in the 7th inning and replacing them with guys that have continuously blown games the entire season. Where is the logic there? Where is your experience at that point? When is it enough? When is it enough for you to stop playing cautiously? Because at this point, the Dodgers have to play another round because of that philosophy. And this is baseball. If you lose that first game, now you're in an elimination game for the next 2 games. You did all that work. You saved up all that BS for what? So that you could lose to the Cincinnati Reds or the New York Mets in the wild card round? You don't belong in the wild card round. You should have been playing to win. You allowed yourselves to get swept by the Angels twice. You allowed yourself to get swept by the Pirates. You allowed yourself to get swept by the Brewers twice in like a 9-day period. You let the Houston Astros sweep you at home after what they have done the last 8 years. Where's the pride at that point? Where's the fortitude? To me, Dave Roberts is soft, weak, and the last guy I want with me in a bunker.
And
Who's
on
the
that
first
note,
guy? Who's the first guy you want with you?
oh my gosh, we'll get into that after the break. Of course, we got
Cal Ripken.
comments from our fans, and we got a good one coming up on the Lakers coming up right after the break. This is the Lakers Fast Break Radio. We're back with Lakers Fast Break Radio. Once again, this half hour is sponsored by Simblades. Simblades with y.com for all your artificial turf needs and just a whole bunch more. So go ahead and check it out today. Simblades. Simblades with y.com. If you are in the Southern California area, Simblades is the place to go again. All right. So some of our comments in our chat. Really great down there. Thanks again to our mods. Doing a great job. Kurt Affair, Xbox, and our, of course, warring fellow Australian, Vari, a.k.a. Sports Baby. Truly appreciate you guys joining us and being so helpful out there, modding the chat. But one of the things I wanted to go ahead and ask, and I'll start with John first on this. Did the Lakers make good offseason moves? NV213 is asking, John.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would go with yes. I would go with yes. I mean, I feel like you could always, want more. You always want to shoot for better or whatnot. But I would go with yes because look, we were able to bring in a player like DeAndre Ayton that the judgment on him is everywhere. Like I've seen people be like, oh, like I still have high hopes for him. But I've seen people be like, oh, well, I've fully just gave up on him. But one thing that we all do know, and this is something that the film will show you. Just go ahead and go watch. He is a rim rolling pick and roll big, and for us to be able to bring a big who can not only give us somewhat of rim protection. He's not necessarily the best rim protector, but better than what we had. He's more of a center. He's more of like a starting big man instead of the revolving door big man that we've been kind of that we would have to deal with we were dealing with since we had got rid of Anthony Davis. So yes, so I say that to say we were able to bring a player that fits next to Luka Doncic, right? As far as like playing style, he can be that rim rolling big to put next to Luka, and we were able to keep Austin Reeves. We were able to, help on the defensive end, bringing on a player like Marcus Smart, yes, I know it's not the same Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year that he once was, but regardless, I mean, we were looking at, you know, the Lakers defensive backcourt being Austin Reeves and Luka, right? Like, don't get me wrong, Luka's gotten in shape, and you know, I hope he's been doing his defensive slides this offseason and all of that. But at the end of the day, like this guy isn't a, you know, lockdown defender, and Austin Reeves, as we've known, has always been a liability on the backcourt defensively. So I say that to say we were able to bring in a player like Marcus Smart, who will definitely help the backcourt defense. And then on top of that, we were also able to still bring in a big like DeAndre Ayton that can be that rim rolling big to pair up with Luka. I mean, you can always want from you. You can always ask for more, but beggars can't be choosers, man. I mean, we just got Luka freaking Doncic last season. So
I'm going to rephrase Jeremy's comment here a little bit, but I'm going to try and still see if I can get the meaning out of it. He says overall he doesn't like the moves, Joe. He legit never heard of Jake LaRavia, who played last year with Memphis and Sacramento, shot about 40% overall from three, finally had a good year, even though he didn't get the full 4 years on his rookie contract because the previous 2 seasons were substandard, but he finally clicked almost all cylinders between Memphis and Sacramento. Marcus Smart has played 54 games in 2 years, and DeAndre Ayton has burned 2 bridges already in Phoenix and Portland. Your thoughts on the offseason moves by the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, LaRavia is likely the replacement of Dalton Connect, unless Dalton Connect can get his head out of his rear end. And then the acquisitions of DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart were detrimental to the team acquisitions. There wasn't any assets relinquished because of those signings, which is a good thing. Luka Doncic is going to be a better player coming into this year. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton are all going into their final season in terms of their contracts. So logic and common sense tells us that those guys are going to play astronomically well, above their heads, maybe even, so that they can justify their next contract. The question mark is going to be LeBron James and JJ Redick going into the season. Can JJ Redick devise a plan, and can everyone else's improvement cover LeBron James enough to where he's not spending so much time on the court, yet still creating the same results as he did last year, which was 24 and 6 and 6. Was it 7 and 6?
I think it was 24, 7 and 7.
Okay, so 24, 7 and 7. If you can get that kind of production from LeBron James, even if it's down to 22 even, and he's playing only 30 minutes a game, that means everyone else picked up the slack. That means LaRavia is doing well off the bench. Maybe Dalton Connect got out of his funk, or maybe he got traded for someone that might be more relevant. There's Marcus Smart coming off the bench, whom has a timely shot here and there, but plays really good defense. Austin Reeves decides that somehow miraculously shoots over 40% from 3 and can control the ball well when Luka sits, so that Luka isn't in high stress mode all year, game in and game out. There's so many little things that have to be right for this team to compete for the championship. If any one of these things does not go right, it's going to go left. And that's the margin of error. There isn't any. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to be mistake-free. And they also may need some luck. They will need a path that is going to be advantageous if they are to make a run. That means, can they avoid the Oklahoma City Thunder enough to where maybe they get knocked off early? Can they get through the West with maybe not even facing Jokic or Oklahoma City? Is Minnesota going to be a problem again? These are all
Mm-hmm.
questions that need to be answered during the year.
A lot of teams.
John, well, let me ask you this. Let me just bring you right in here. I'll bring it back to you.
Oh, you're good.
I think one of the things I've said over the course of summer is that the Lakers have 7 players that are vying for new contracts. They're incentivized monetarily to play good, to play well, to help the Lakers win during the season. But I'm not sure if it all fits as a puzzle, if all the puzzle pieces fit for a run in the postseason. Again, how do you think it's starting to shape out? But again, know that the regular season might be different from the postseason once again, John.
The regular season is always going to be different from the postseason for, I mean, a couple of reasons. One, for us, because the fact that we have LeBron James and Luka Doncic, like the game changes in the playoffs. It becomes a lot more about dominating that possession and dominating your individual matchup. And there's just not many matchups that LeBron James, Luka Doncic aren't dominating, therefore creating a mismatch, and then it just becomes a kind of chase the cat. But essentially, I agree with Joe. I know for a fact, and exactly what Dante's saying. Moves still got to be done if we want to get to where we want to get to. Do I think that we had a cool off season? I do think we had a cool off season. Do I think we are where we need to be? Absolutely not. And we're far from it. If we want to compete, not only are we going to need luck on our side, not only is Dalton Connect going to have to get his head out of his ass, and JJ Reddick's gotta lock in, and all that's got to happen. LeBron, can't be taking his games off and whatnot. All that's got to happen. But I still do think that, like, roster wise, like we're still far from it, to be honest with you. We're still far from it, but don't play with us though. We're not a team that you want to just lollygag into come playoffs and not take serious, because we could definitely I feel like take even just right now take a lot of teams, but I feel like from now until the time playoff starts, like we'll have worked on a lot, and continuity is a real thing, man. Continuity is a real thing in this league. It's not NBA 2K, like playing together and being together and hanging out, like all these things like actually matter and make a difference on the court. So, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how close knit this team really is. But I mean, I'm excited though. I'm excited. I think, regardless, I feel like every time and shout out Drip Show one more time, because every time I walk past this painting right here, I'm like, damn, like Luke, we really have Luka Doncic. So like, I don't know about you guys, but that always helps me keep things in perspective. Like, I still want to go win, but I'm just like, damn, like we really got Luka Doncic. Like that, I wouldn't have thought that was going to happen 2 years ago.
John Costa will be coming up after the break, Joe, talking about his thoughts on the bubble title. Still, that talk won't go away. And also if the Lakers can win a title before LeBron retires. But before that, you've got a couple of minutes left, my friend. Any last thoughts on the Lakers' moves of the offseason and what it might do for the team upcoming here? Because they go to camp in just a few days.
No, I don't really have anything that would be relevant at the moment, because we still need to see how they play. We'll know. We'll know soon enough.
Okay, fair enough. And I know that Jared Vanderbilt's name in the chat has been a source of discussion. As I've said before, Joe and I are not on Vando Hill.
Nope.
And neither it sounds like with John too.
Nope.
I'm hoping for him a bounce back year, and I'm hoping it's because he had the double foot surgery and he was coming back from that. But we'll see. We will see if he can stay in the Lakers rotation. But again, several players are financially incentivized to do well during the course of the regular season to help the Lakers win games. With the injury to Fred VanVleet, it could be an ominous sign for the Houston Rockets of a team that has high aspirations that might not be able to get it done, which could leave the door open for the Lakers to come right through and compete at the top of the Western Conference. We'll see. We'll see. Jeremy says we are a 5 or 6 seed right now in the West, depending on how much LeBron has left. He thinks the Lakers are a 5 seed at best, but hopefully he is wrong. And he is getting back and forth on that from those who think that the Lakers are a little bit higher. I know Xbox is really high. I know Travon has also said that as well. So yes, great talk, great questions, great comments. As always, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. If you want to email us or also leave it in the chat. Or if you're watching this after the fact, you can leave it and you can drop it right below as well. And we do get to it. Jeremy says Vando will be riding the pine most of the season. But the problem is the Lakers still don't have a bench, Jeremy, of substantial proportions. They don't have a deep and very bench. The two guys that are coming off the bench, Laravia and Smart, most likely, that's pretty much how far the depth of the Lakers goes after having one of the worst benches in the league last year. They improved it, but how much we will find out indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We've got 1.5 hour left. Big shout out again to our sponsor for this past half hour. It is SimBlades, Joe's company, SimBlades, SimBladesWorldwide.com. Joe, any advice you tell people real quickly on SimBlades before we get to the break?
Yeah, if you want your lawn, your yard, your whatever handled, call me.
Man, Joe, I as you know, recently bought a house and there was some artificial grass in my backyard. And I am so thankful that there is some artificial grass in my backyard because there is no artificial grass in my front yard. And I am learning all about mowing the lawn and doing that stuff often. So I don't know. Do you come up to the bay, Joe, or what do you do?
If you're willing to pay, yeah.
There we go.
If I'm willing to pay, this guy, of course I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, I'm not a Walmart installer.
Yeah, I would hope you're not.
I'm a Louis Vuitton installer, and I can show it.
All right, Louis. All right, it's SimBlades.
Hey, don't patronize me with your BS.
I'll patronize you, Louis, any way I want. But
don't yap while I'm yapping.
John talking Lakers with
okay.
Break. This is the Lakers Fast Break Radio.
Next time I'll okay across your face.
Louis, I'll smack you right. We're back for the last half hour of the show. Truly appreciate it. This half hour is sponsored by my good friend, Mr. Josh Peterson, and his company, The Happy Hoarder. If you want collectibles in the best way possible, go ahead and reach out, especially when you're in the Texas area. Go ahead and reach out to my good friend, Josh Peterson, and The Happy Hoarder on social media as well. So, John Costa, it took you a little while to decide on what you want to talk about on our first foray into sports radio. But I think you've got a couple good subjects. Something that has been talked about quite a bit off and on this show. We've had arguments over it as far as with other people. We've had discussions in regards to this. The bubble title, still people wanting to put an asterisk because I think they're jealous because their team didn't win it. And then also as well, is there going to be one more championship in LeBron James' future as a player? So your thoughts, John. Go ahead. The floor is now yours.
Yes. And I'm going to kind of like lead the way in the conversation here, but definitely want, you and Joe to jump in here as well. And also chat, keep me honest here about the chat. Because
I'll keep you honest. That's for sure.
Because I have another screen up here and I don't see the chat. So if the chat's coming up here, let me know. But let me start with first.
John is a son of a. Oh, I can't say that.
Okay. All right, Joe. Is that what we're doing, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about you put up your poster that Chris, the art director, gave you? How about that?
How about you mind your business?
How about you don't tell me what to do? Anyway,
you tell me what to do.
Let's hop into it. Let me talk about something that really.
I don't hop into anything.
Okay, well, you're gonna hop into this. We're gonna hop into this because something that really grinds my gears, guys. I'll be honest with you, is the statement that we get from so many casuals. Oh, Mickey Mouse ring, the bubble ring didn't count, bubble championship. All that stuff is so annoying, guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Jeremy. It's definitely good to see you as well, my brother.
The hair is looking mint. Okay, all right.
I haven't got a
mint that
haircut
hair,
in
I
like
guess.
I haven't got the haircut in like 2 weeks, bro. So
We know, we can see it.
well, Jeremy thinks it's looking mint.
Jeremy's a nice man.
Yeah, I know.
And he likes to compliment people. He's a good
and
person.
he clearly has good
Australians
vision.
rock, man. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. There you go.
He clearly has good vision as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and keep going, guys. So, like I said, really annoying when people hate on the bubble championship. And I'm gonna give you guys a couple, kind of a couple of reasons as to why. And then definitely I'm gonna want you guys to jump in here as well. But first of all, the number one thing that I hate people say, right, when they say the bubble ring, a bubble championship, is they act like the Lakers were the only team that got rest. They're like, oh, well, you guys got rest. Yeah, and so did all 29 other teams in the rest of the league get rest. They act like it was only the Lakers that was kicking up at home, resting. They forget that all their favorite players, Paul George, Mr. Jamal Murray, Mr. Kawhi Leonard, all these guys that are, quote unquote, like injury prone or whatever you call it, same thing as Anthony Davis, they also got the rest. So that whole stigma of like, oh, wow, you guys just won because you guys got, months off rest. Well, so did the rest of the league, and everybody came back ready to hoop. And so much so that they were not even gonna go to the bubble. They were thinking about not even going to the bubble because they weren't coming to agreement. But then they all came to agreement to come to the bubble. And those that didn't want to come. We knew what Avery Bradley. That's the reason I don't like Avery Bradley. He gave up on our Lakers and didn't come to the bubble. I know he had some family stuff going on, but whatever. Irregardless, I say that to say, so if you agreed to come to the bubble, I don't want to hear it. So that's first. And then, let's talk about the fact that like it was pure basketball, right? It was just pure locking into basketball, which honestly, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I think is actually harder. A lot of people talk about how they think that championship actually was easier. I think it was a lot harder, to be honest with you. We've heard a lot of players speak out about, the mental grind of the isolation, right? We've heard LeBron talk about it, but all right, some people may not want to believe Bron because he ended up winning the championship, but we've heard Paul George talk about it. We've heard Danny Green talk about it. The list goes on of the amount of people that we've heard talking about this. So what pisses me off is hearing the players that were actually in there day in and day out say it was harder. And then we got, Slim Jim that lives in his grandma's house, in his grandma's basement, saying, no, it was the easiest championship ever. Dog, you were sitting at your mom's basement eating potato chips, and these players were actually there playing. But I'm gonna listen to you because you're telling me that it was easier in your eyes. Let me see what Toronto said. The bubble wasn't just about who was the best team, or also who was the strongest team mentally. Exactly, brother. That's exactly Trevon, brother. That's my next point I was gonna get to, right? Like it was really about who could mentally be the toughest, because there was no fans to, give you that energy. And more than just that, there was no family. And this is something that I think it's overlooked so much when we talk about this right here. I really do believe that this is where you can see the real casuals of the game and the people who actually really understand the game, because I really do believe that there's some people out there that they may not say it, but they believe that the NBA operates the same way that freaking NBA 2K operates. They think that these guys just get up and play basketball and their life is just basketball and it's just strictly basketball. These are real life human beings with kids and moms and baby mamas and all in family and real family. And guess what? For this period of time when the world was going through an unknown change, you just isolated them from all their kids. You isolated them from their entire family and said, still perform at the highest possible level and still get it done with all this uncertainty going on in the world. Like, what in the world? How do you want me to perform at the highest possible level when I cannot lock in mentally? Again, here's another very easy statement that you can see. You can weed out a casual and someone that actually knows sports. To play basketball in college, I would say anything past high school, it takes a certain amount of locking in mentally, and you can't just be mentally goner and be at your absolute best playing at a high level, playing, i.e., high level college, NBA, overseas. You got to be locked in mentally, physically, everything's got to be locked in. And again, these guys going through a unknown time now are forced away from their family. I think that's gonna, cause a trouble, cause a rift. And before I keep going, because I've been rambling about for like 9 minutes here, Joe and Gerald, you guys hop in here real quick. You tell me. So here's that's my take. My take is that it's harder having to lock in during a worldwide pandemic, not being able to see your family, all this stuff going on. But some people actually genuinely believe it's easier. What do both of you guys think on that?
They said it from the inside, to be away from their families, to be away from being able to do things in the outside world for that extended period of time. It was a mental challenge. I mean, people on other teams, Giannis, for one, said it was one of the most difficult things he's ever had to do in his life. So there you have your justification right there. Trayvon said it best, as far as his point that he made earlier. Joe, real quick with you, my friend, your thoughts on the bubble championships. Then John, we'll just have a few minutes left on your segment to go ahead and talk about LeBron.
Yep. I'll finish this up and get to it.
Maybe my perspective is a little different than most, but you're asking me how much these guys suffered being a bunch of millionaires.
I'm not
being
saying
catered
suffered.
to for 2 months.
That's not my question, though. Hold on. Don't twist my question is not
No,
how much.
I'm not talking about you. I'm telling you what I'm telling you now.
Tell me what you're telling me.
Tranquilo.
All right. All right, I'll tranquilo.
It doesn't matter the circumstances. I don't give two rats behinds what anyone says. There's a banner at the crypt. There are rings being worn. And in the record books, it's a world championship. And the competition was very high in those games. There was no advantage of a different floor, a different hoop. These guys played basketball at the highest level. It's just that they didn't play it in their own building. So to sit there and yap about it wasn't real, explain to me what's real then. Because don't you see that kind of basketball every March in college? Those guys don't play at home. They're not in Durham. Duke is not in Durham. They're going to be in California for one game. They're going to be in Wisconsin for another game. They'll be in Texas in another game. So what difference does it make? It's still the same court. It's still the same talent. It's still the same competition. It just was in one spot this 1 year. And if you're going to degrade a championship because the year was flawed due to it not being as normal as most years, then take away the title in '99 for the Spurs. Take away the title for Miami in 2012 when they only played 66 games.
And there you
take
go.
away the title in 1982 to the Redskins when there was a strike in the NFL. Take the title away from the Giants in '87 when there was a strike.
There you go.
Save the BS. You're weak. And you know very well that if it was your team who had won, you would have bought all the championship gear, the hats, the underwears, the G-strings, all that stuff. And you would have been running around yapping about how great your team was that year. And if you say you wouldn't, you're a liar.
Trayvon is putting in there, if you asked me, it hurt the 4 teams left in the bubble because the season started right back in 5 weeks and all the final 4 teams lost in the first round. Trayvon also had another question in regards to LeBron. So that was actually the second part of your point. You've got a couple minutes left, my friend.
Look, if you had players on teams that wanted chicken wings more than winning a basketball game, that's not on the Lakers. The Lakers were the number one team in March when things got shut down.
Yes, and
The only detriment in the break is that the NBA voters for Defensive Player of the Year left their brains in a toilet.
Should have been AD.
AD won that award in December
Should
and continued to win it in January, February, and March. And for some weird reason, not only did he lose it, he lost it in a landslide. And then he proved in the bubble how great he was. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with people who don't watch the game like I do, because I actually watch the game. I actually pay attention to the details. You don't. The only ones that are going to watch the game more in depth are those who are actually playing the game and actually coaching the game. If I had time to do it, I would, but I don't. I do the basics as much as I can as an observer.
John, I'll let you bleed over into my segment.
No, you're all good.
No, because I know Trayvon wanted that question answered in regards to LeBron. So we will answer it on the other side of the break. Absolutely. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break Radio. Gerald Glassford, John Costa from Clutch Shock and Lakers Corner, and Joe Soro from Sim Blades, and also as well the Joe Soro Experiment. Please go ahead, like and follow the show. Make sure you subscribe to get the latest notifications every single time out right here. We'll be on for our last segment. I'll talk WWE. John will talk LeBron James, and then we'll close it out strong right here on Lakers Fast Break Radio.
I think it's getting old now.
You could say that.
Shut up!
No, it's not, Joe. All good.
Thank you for blowing out the eardrums through all of our podcast listeners.
Good.
All right, we're back for the final segment of our show. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is the Lakers Fast Break Radio. This segment is sponsored by our good friend, The Happy Hoarder. Please follow The Happy Hoarder on social media and The Happy Hoarder. He hoards
Joe, I know what Joe heard.
Pokemon, collectibles,
Joe.
pops, those kind of things. If you're interested in all that, go ahead and check out my good friend Josh Peterson on social media at The Happy Hoarder. All right, John. I wanted to get Trayvon's question there because it's something you had already planned on talking about, but we went over on your first part about the Bubble Championship. Now let's hear your thoughts on LeBron James. Will he win another title before he heads out?
Let's talk about it, man. Gerald, this is a real tricky slope here, man. But if you're asking me, will LeBron James be able to win one more before it's all said and done? Will he be able to win one in a Lakers uniform? And honestly, I'm going to go with, it's a 50-50 shot. But I'm going to go on the optimistic side and say, yes, let's talk about it. It's not going to happen this next year, but let's talk about, just the potential of it happening, right? We have the Luka and LeBron offensive nightmare. I feel like this is going to be one of the first years where we're going to see all year long Luka Doncic coming into a season where like in the offseason he had LeBron in his ear, right? And feel however you feel about LeBron James, irregardless, one thing you cannot deny is that this man is amazing at preparation, and he knows how to get his body right and how to keep his body right, because as we've seen through the man entering year 23 this upcoming year and still playing and jumping out the roof like he's 23. So I say that to say, you have a Luka Doncic that he's never had a player like LeBron James in his ear all off season, right? Boom. Now Luka Doncic, he reaches another level defensively, offensively. And so now you have that nightmare of LeBron and Luka. We all know that Luka Doncic can control the game like crazy. LeBron James controlled the game like crazy. Playoffs, I was alluding to earlier. All playoffs comes down to is controlling the game, controlling possessions, and dominating your matchup. Those two guys, like I said earlier, will dominate matchups. Will be able to control the pace, control the tempo. Both can pass, both can score, both can pass, both can create mismatches and punish those mismatches. But I guess the other end of it, and I'll breeze through this real quick. But in offensively, when you have two great players like that, one is gonna have to sacrifice more. I think it's LeBron James that's gonna have to sacrifice, but because I didn't want to make it all about me talking, would love to get your thoughts, Gerald and Joe. Who do you think of the two is going to be sacrificing more, of LeBron or Luka? I'm thinking it's LeBron.
Go ahead, Joe. I mean, when he was talking about, with AD here, about how he wanted to turn over the team to him, never quite did that, but now he has the opportunity to do so now, Joe.
What does that mean, turn the team over to him?
Remember he was talking about becoming the Robin to AD's Batman, kind of talking about being the 1A.
What did he want AD to do? Turn into 30-20 man?
He did for a while in that first month last season, but then it all started downhill.
No. LeBron has a very bad habit of yapping out of his, too much. Just play the game and stop talking about whose team it is and who isn't playing, and just win. Enough. I had to deal with this with Shaq and Kobe. Those two schmucks started this whose team is it garbage, and it cost the Lakers probably 2 or 3 championships because of it. This team is about winning. Win the game. Win. I don't care whose team it is. That's it.
Okay, but I wasn't talking about whose team it is. I wasn't talking about whose team it was. I was just asking you, offensively, with two great ball dominant players like that, one is going to have to sacrifice more. I think it's LeBron James.
LeBron James is going to sacrifice because he needs to alleviate a lot of wear and tear throughout the season.
Okay, so which is what I'm saying. Okay, cool. All you could have said is, I agree, John.
No, anyway, I don't agree with anything that's been said here today.
Well, yes, you do. You do, because you literally just said you agree to me, but you didn't say I agree with you.
Nothing.
You do. Anywho, Austin Reeves, growth, taking the next step continuously, every year after year after year. Go look at the numbers. Like I tell my good buddy Joe all the time, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Austin Reeves is going to continue to take another step up. Marcus Smart, adding some culture, adding some defense. We have,
if he can stay on the court.
If he can stay on the court, absolutely. We have not the ideal center, but I told you guys we have a rim rolling big that can be paired next to Luka. Luka Doncic made players like Derek Lively be in the finals. He made players like Maxi Kleba look like starting caliber bigs at this point. So I'm wondering what he's going to do with the former #1 overall pick in his own draft. Also, we've seen what went down with Fred VanVleet there, hoping the path opens up a little bit more for the Lakers. So kind of rushed through that because I know it's already 10:51 here. I know Gerald's trying to stay on this tight schedule, but essentially I say that to say, hey man, not this year, but the chances are looking bright that the Lakers do potentially snag one more championship before LeBron James decides to hang those shoes up.
Just wanted to add in, this past weekend, the WWE had their first foray on ESPN, kind of, as you can call that, with WrestlePalooza, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar as the headliner. The matches were okay, except for the Stephanie McCoy versus Io Sky match, which was really good. But the question remains on how you can get the WWE going forward on ESPN, because I think it was a missed opportunity for ESPN. They should have just shown it, WrestlePalooza, on ESPN straight up, so that everybody that has ESPN could get ESPN. And then during the course of the show, lead everybody into the new app you want to charge people $30 a month for. You should have done that. It was a mistake on your part because so many people leading into that show were complaining on social media. How do I get the show? I don't know how to get the show. You didn't explain it very well, ESPN and WWE, on how to be able to get that program. And it was just very confusing for a lot of people. Some have cable companies that are able to get it, some don't. You didn't specify. It really was a confusing situation for a lot of consumers out there. But it just goes to show you that TKO, the parent company for the WWE, is all about the cashola. As you can see, the prices that were made available for 2 days next year for WrestleMania here in Las Vegas, which they released today to the public, it's upwards of, if you want the best seats in the house or in the skyboxes, $50,000 for seats down below. It's like $9,000 for the top end seats. $400 will just get you in the door. It's all about money. You don't care about what the consumers are able to follow or what they're actually feeling or whatnot. It's all about the Benjamins with TKO right now, with UFC and with WWE. And, again, it's a capitalistic society. I get it. I understand it. But you should have had a better opportunity to showcase your app by saying, you know what? Run commercials during a free card on ESPN that everybody could have gotten around the world on it. I think it was a missed opportunity by ESPN. I think it will hurt their brand, at least for a little while, until people finally get used to the idea of paying $30 extra per month for the ESPN app. And again, just a missed opportunity in my assessment. Okay card, again, some disappointing matches. I think the thing with Cena, does John Cena end his career on that note, getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar? We'll have to wait and see. He doesn't have too many more matches left. So the clock is ticking to see if John Cena will close out his career on a better note indeed. But guys, it's been a great show. Any last thoughts, John, before we head on out? 5 minutes left.
No last thoughts. Very happy to be here. Very happy we did the show. Super excited for season, man. Season's right around the corner. I'm about to get some stuff here going for my Lakers Corner page as well. So, if you do like Lakers content and you want to get more Lakers content, make sure to go check that out. I'll be doing like film breakdowns, game recaps, all that. But I'll also be here after every single Lakers game, doing the best post-game show around town, man. But appreciate everybody being here.
805 wants to ask you, what's your starting lineup to start the season?
My starting lineup I would go with would be Luka, AR, Rui, Braun, and Dorian Finney-Smith. And DeAndre Ayton. I said Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dorian Finney-Smith is in Houston, my friend.
I that's why I meant DeAndre Ayton. Sorry.
There you go. No worries. Joe, let's bring it to you, my friend. You can go ahead and make sure you get everybody involved on what you're doing with the Joe Soro Experiment. And then, of course, your starting lineup as asked by 805 as well before we head on out.
What am I doing on the experiment?
What isn't he saying on the experiment?
It's a better question.
What am I doing? You want to fix that before I finish what I'm saying?
Block, bro, block. Shut up, bro. Block. I said DeAndre Ayton. Block.
Block
Don't do
is
it.
back.
Don't do it.
Black is black. Block is black.
Block is black. Black is block. Whatever. I said DeAndre Ayton. Dorian Finney-Smith was an accident. I said DeAndre Ayton. Don't do it. Block or black or whatever.
Go ahead, Joe. All right.
Look,
3 minutes.
on the experiment, we're snapping necks and cashing checks.
Hey, okay. I like that.
And we're going to be doing a lot of that during the year, especially with the Lakers trying to make one more move before LeBron James hangs him up. I think he's going to hang him up at some point here at the end of the year. And with that, October is going to be a very interesting month. October has been a dominant month for a while now in the Laker, Dodger, at least NFL triangle for me. So there will be a lot more activity in October than you've seen the last few months. So stay tuned, be ready, and you're going to see more dialogue and more execution like you saw tonight. I wanted to make sure that the articulation was still there, even though we weren't using crooked words during the what will be 3 hours and about 2 minutes.
Okay. On that note, indeed, it is the Joe Soro Experiment. Don't forget also as well, John Costa, Lakers Corner for him. Please like and subscribe. Also as well, the playback channels for the Lakers Fast Break and the Joe Soro Experiment, playing the Dodgers, NFL football, the Lakers, and more. So go ahead and catch us there as well. But truly appreciate you joining us. If you like what you saw and what you heard, please let your local radio station know, especially if you're on the West Coast, about us here at the Lakers Fast Break. This is a proof of concept, as far as at least so far. I don't know about these guys, if they play nice, because that's something they don't normally do, but we'll see what happens. We might try this again, and hopefully we will somewhere down the line sometime soon, because we like covering the world of sports, the Lakers, the NFL, the NBA, and more. Major League Baseball, we cover it all each and every time out. Looking forward to hearing your responses if we should continue further with the radio shows down the line as well. Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com, and also in the comments as well. So for Joe Soro, John Costa, this is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. We'll see you next time on the Lakers Fast Break Radio, the Lakers Fast Break, and of course, everyone right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. You're not going to take one last shot at John?
John has much more important things to worry about.
Okay. You're the important thing I have to worry about.